Wapi shangwe vigelegele za walimu? Walimu harambe! Walimu harambe! Harambe! DJ nipe hiyo ngoma ya uzalendo tafadhali. Karibu sana Your Excellency. Wapi duru shangwe walimu jamani? Twende! Kila mtu! Wacha nione mkono! Mkono! Hey! Kila mtu!
Tunajivunia sana tukijita Wakenya, nchi yenye baraka. Tunajivunia sana tukijita Wakenya, nchi yenye baraka.
Wacha nione! DJ. Walimu hoye! Walimu hoye! Walimu tumesema harambe! Your Excellency, tumeabudu sana na hawa walimu tangu asubuhi na walikuwa wameomba ukija tuabudu nawe namba 1. Kwa hivyo DJ nipe mkono wa Bwana jamani. DJ. Walimu, shangwe na vigelegele za walimu wa nchi ya Kenya ziko wapi? Karibu sana Your Excellency.
Asante sana. Makofi tafadhali ya kumkaribisha Rais. Karibu sana. Tukiwa tumebaki tumesimama, nitamwalika Masi Ndungu kutoka NAT aje atuongoze kwa maombi. Karibu.
Thank you. Na tuombe. Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we come before you this morning with thanksgiving. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of life, good health, and journey mercies. Thank you, Lord, for assembling us here today, the teachers of this great nation. We thank you for our beloved President, His Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and his entire government. Thank you, Lord, for continuously giving him the wisdom to lead and govern our nation. We recognize and appreciate that it is through your grace that he has achieved much for this country. Lord, we invite your divine presence here today. Direct and guide our thoughts, actions, hopes, and aspirations, and let your will be done. We pray for the teachers of this country. Bless them, Lord. As a country, we pray for resilience, patience, humility, and diligence as we serve in our great nation, Kenya, for the good of our people and for your glory. Amen.
Amen. Naomba kwa heshima tuweze kuketi. Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, Your Excellency the Deputy President Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Julius Migos Ogambo, Cabinet Secretaries present, Members of Parliament, NAT Secretary General, KUPPET Secretary General, KUSNET Miss Charity Misocho, KEPSHA Chairman, Kesha Chairman, and all teachers represented. All teachers, habari asubuhi. Habari asubuhi. Karibuni sana State House. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, allow me to invite the Principal Secretary, Ambassador Julius Bitok, to come and just make some introductory remarks as we continue with the program. Tupigie makofi tafadhali, Bwana PS akija kutambulisha waliofika. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of Kenya Defence Forces, Your Excellency, Deputy President, Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Members present, unions, all leaders present, walimu wenzangu, amjambo? Amjambo tena? Kwa majina, ninaitwa Mwalimu Julius Bitok. Your Excellency, allow me at the onset to appreciate and thank you most sincerely for hosting this historic meeting of the teachers. It is the first time in the history of this country that Your Excellency, in your busy schedule, you decided to invite teachers to State House to have breakfast with you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this historic event. Allow me, Your Excellency, also to thank you for your vision on education. We have seen what we have done in the last 3 years, the investment in many areas. We want to sincerely thank you for your commitment, your vision for education sector. Allow me, Excellency, now to introduce the people who have come from all over the country, the leaders, the cream de la cream of this country, from the grassroots. Allow me to start with delegates from the 3 unions, that is NAT, KUPPET, KUSNET, KEPSHA, and KESHA. Coast Province, allow me, Your Excellency, to request them to stand and we can be able to appreciate them. Coast Province, let's stand, Coast Province, or Coast Region. Let's stand, let's put our hands together to appreciate Coast Region. Thank you very much, Coast Region. Let us go to Northeastern Region. Can we kindly stand from Northeastern Region? Let's put our hands together to appreciate Northeastern as we wave His Excellency the President. Let's sit down. Thank you very much. Let's now go to Eastern Region. Very good. Eastern Region. Your Excellency, Eastern Region. Both from NAT, KUPPET, KUSNET, KEPSHA, and KESHA. Asanteni sana. Let's now go to Central Region, Central Kenya. Central Kenya, NAT, KUPPET, KUSNET, KESHA, and KEPSHA. Asanteni sana. Let's come to our host, Nairobi City County. Nairobi City County delegates, asanteni sana, from the unions together with the associations. Asanteni sana. Let us go to Rift Valley. Rift Valley region. Thank you very much. Rift Valley region, from NAT, KEPSHA. Thank you very much. Rift Valley. Your Excellency, sir, Rift Valley has 14 counties. 14 counties. So it is the largest of all. Your Excellency, allow me now to request Western Region to stand up. Western Region. Thank you very much, Western Region. Thank you very much. Allow me, last but not least, to recognize Nyanza Region. Very good. Broad-based. Thank you very much. Asante sana, Nyanza Region. Thank you very much, Nyanza Region. Thank you very much, Nyanza Region. Thank you, Nyanza Region. Your Excellency, sir, in a very special way, there are leaders who have organized these teams. They are the national leadership. Allow me, Your Excellency, in a special way, to introduce the national leadership of Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, led by the Secretary General. That is the national office. Allow me again, Your Excellency, to request KUPPET, Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, leaders, the national office. Asanteni sana. Allow me also to recognize the national leadership of KUSNET, Kenya Union of Special Needs Education Teachers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Allow me, Your Excellency, also to introduce KEPSHA, Kenya Primary Heads Association National Leadership. Thank you very much, led by their chairman. Last but not least, allow me to introduce KESHA, Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association, led by their chairman. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Before I call the CS, allow me, Your Excellency, to only make one statement. That we have had preparatory meetings with the leaders of the unions and the associations. And they have given us their memoranda, which, Your Excellency, we have graciously shared with you. His Excellency, fellow teachers, has captured all our issues through your officials. The memorandum is duly signed, has been presented to His Excellency, and he is going to prosecute those issues, including the appreciation, including the asks, including the requests. All the issues have been captured by His Excellency as presented by your officials. Allow me, Your Excellency, now to invite Honorable Julius Migos, the Cabinet Secretary for Education. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together to invite our leader in the sector, Honorable Julius Migos. Makofi kwake. As the minister is coming, I have been requested to ask the national treasuries of organizations, National Treasurer NAT, National Treasurer KUPET, National Treasurer KUSNET, National Treasurer KEPSA, National Treasurer KESHA, to be able to, for some housekeeping matters, to meet Mike just behind the tent. Thank you very much. Let's welcome the minister in a very special way, Karibu Waziri.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Waalimu mpo! Waalimu mpo! Arambe! Arambe! Thank you. Your Excellency the President, Your Excellency the Deputy President, allow me to ride on the protocols already established and take this opportunity to thank you most sincerely for hosting this team of the teachers of Kenya. Your Excellency, the importance of teachers in this country cannot be gainsaid. Each one of us has been shaped by these teachers. In my official duties that you graciously gave me, Your Excellency, I have interacted with these teachers, and I can state without any fear of contradiction that they are the most patriotic in this country. We have worked with them through various challenges, through their unions. Even when the issues were difficult, they were able to come to the table and say, the country, the students are bigger than our issues, and we resolve those challenges. I want to thank you most sincerely, teachers, for supporting the government. The government reformed, especially because we are reforming our education sector to make it that much better for our children. Thank you for all that you do. And Your Excellency, because it's not my day today, let me take this opportunity to just confirm to you that they have assured me that going forward, we will ensure that the transition to grade 10 is smooth and seamless. And that they will support the government agenda because they understand how important the education sector is. Currently, we are undertaking a very important verification exercise of our institutions, of our enrollment numbers, and these teachers and their unions have supported that exercise so that we can clean up our sector and make sure it is the best sector in this country. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting the government. Thank you for supporting our children, and God will bless you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We will work with you. As you know, some of us work very silently, but we resolve the challenges that we face, and the results are there to be seen. With those few remarks, let me take this opportunity to invite our Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, to make his remarks and invite the President. Fire si fire! Fire si fire! Moto si moto! Noma si noma! Karibu sana, Your Excellency.
Hey. Aya. Your Excellency, the President, fellow teachers, Your Excellency, allow me just to say 3 quick things before I invite you. First is to recognize the role that teachers play in shaping the destiny and the future of the children of Kenya. Your Excellency, those adults who have been to school do not remember the teaching methods that they were taught with and the techniques, but they remember the teachers who helped them become what they are today. Teachers are the only people I know who lose sleep because of the children of other people. And I agree with what has been said here, that if there are patriotic people, selfless people, people who give their all for the sake of others, it is the teachers of Kenya and the teachers of the world. And therefore, Your Excellency, you've done well to recognize these heroes and heroines of our country, and I'm very proud to be associated with the teachers of Kenya. Mheshimiwa Rais, ni vile mkutano ni yako, ningewauliza tu, walimu ni fire si fire? Walimu ni fire si fire? Walimu ni fire si fire? Ni two term. Walimu ni two term. Walimu ni two term. Wacha nione wale wanasema walimu ni two term, walimu ni two term, walimu ni two term. Walimu ni two term, walimu ni two term, walimu ni two term. Your Excellency, ni walimu wamesema. Si mimi nili. The second issue, Your Excellency, even as you are going to address us, you will tell us how far we've come as a country in improving our education system. The infrastructure and the number of teachers and other things that through you, our government has been able to do for our country. But Your Excellency, allow me just to mention that I'm also impressed, as a former teacher myself, to realize that Kenya, walimu ni fire si fire, walimu ni fire si fire, as one of you, because the teaching profession starts from elementary school, pre-primary, all the way to university. We are all educationists, we are all teachers. And therefore, I have realized that Kenya is one of the countries actually from the developing world that has achieved a 1-to-1 ratio for books to pupils. Many countries, even with a better education system, have not achieved the pupil-book ratio of 1-to-1. And the teachers are telling me, for that reason, for making their work easier, ni two term. Ni two term. Ni two term. Because a good book-student ratio enables a good quality, accessible education. Finally, Your Excellency, we have made some progress in terms of the student-teacher ratio. We are not very far off from achieving the target of 1-to-40, but maybe what we need to work with under your leadership and through our ministry is to handle the issue of distribution so that every part of Kenya, every school can have access to high quality, relevant, accessible and affordable education. Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi sitaki kusema mengi kwa sababu leo mkutano ni wako. I am so excited to be among colleagues because, as I have said, much of my youth and much of my prime I used it to nurture, to shape students at the university, and I am proud to be associated with teachers, educationists, and the people in this space. But let me mention some of the colleagues who are here before we invite His Excellency the President, as many of them would have wanted to speak, but today we don't want to crowd the program. We will have another opportunity elsewhere to engage with you. Hata mimi Rais akinikubalia, nitaitana hata mimi. Si ndio? Ama namna gani? Ni fire. Ni fire. Basi lakini mniombee ruhusa, Rais anikubalie, mimi nitaita. So in our midst, you know, we have our education committee in the National Assembly, which helps us to oversight the education sector. The chairperson, the chairman of that committee is here with us, the Honorable Julius Meli, MP for Tinderet. Na huyu ni mwalimu mwenzetu, hata yeye alikuwa mwalimu. Huyu alikuwa principal zamani. Ni fire si fire. Vile vile, we have the vice chair of that education committee, Honorable Eve Obara. Honorable Eve Obara is the member of parliament for Kasipul Kabondo. Na mimi nimeona wenzetu hapa mumesema broad-based ni 2 term. Broad-based ni 2 term. Broad-based ni 2 term. Number 3, we have other members of the committee, the Honorable Rebecca Tonkei, women representative for Narok County. We have the Honorable Julius Taitumu, member for parliament for Igembe North. We have the Honorable Professor Barto, member of parliament for Moiben, and also one of us, a former teacher like all of us, those of us who have been teachers. Then we have the Honorable Jerusha Momanyi, member of parliament for Nyamira County. And we have the Honorable Waalimu Peter Orero, MP for Kibra. Kwa hivyo wenzangu, mimi nimefurahi kufika hapa. Tutaonana siku nyingine. Wacha sasa tumkaribishe Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ni fire si fire? Ni fire si fire?
Sana, tafadhali tuketi. Asanteni sana. Ndugu walimu, hamjambo? Walimu, ukitaka kufaulu unatafuta deputy amesoma kuliko wewe. If you want to succeed, you put people around you who are more intelligent than you. Saa ile wanakusaidia kushine, you take the credit, wao ndio wanafanya job. Si ndio? Nilikuwa na mwingine alikuwa analalamika hajasoma. Nikaona ataniangusha. Lakini ndugu walimu, mimi nawakaribisha. Asanteni sana kwa kubali mwito wangu munitembelee. Hii mkutano ya walimu mimi ndio nimeuliza. Na nimeuliza kwa sababu I have reasons why I want us to have this meeting. Mnanielewa? Najua kumekuwa na maswali mengi. Walimu wanaenda kufanya nini State House? Mbona hii mkutano inafanyika State House? Mbona sijui nini, maswali mingi. Mimi kwa sasa ndio mwenye hii boma. Ndio. Kwa kibali ya Mwenyezi Mungu na kwa kura zenu. Si ndio? Na mwenye kusema nani atakuja hapa na nani asikuje si ni mimi. Sasa nikisema walimu wakuje hapa kuna maswali? Iko maswali? Sasa karibuni na mjisikie mko nyumbani. Mimi najua ni mara ya kwanza kwa walimu kufika State House in this manner. Na mimi najua ni kwa sababu walimu wako na shughuli mingi. Kusomesha watoto wetu, kupanga mambo mengi, ndio hamujapata nafasi ya kufika State House. So mimi nasema kwa heshima mlinionipatia, mkawacha kazi zenu nyingi, mkapata nafasi yenu, mkanitembelea. I don't take it for granted and I say thank you very much. Na siku ingine, because I know you are busy people, siku ingine mkipata tena nafasi ingine kidogo, mnaweza kunitembelea. Sindio? So I want to say welcome the teachers of Kenya. And I want to associate myself with the sentiments that have been made by my deputy, that teachers are the greatest patriots and heroes of the Republic of Kenya. Teachers mind about the children of others. They spend sleepless nights thinking about the children of others. And I want to tell you, teachers, on behalf of parents, including myself and the people of Kenya, we are truly grateful for your contribution to the success of our nation. Na leo mimi nataka niseme ya kwamba I have reasons why I've invited you here. Na mimi nataka kidogo, mimi naona my deputy, the CS, wale wameongea, mimi naona kama wako na njama ya kuniharibia mkutano. Sasa tuta imeingilia wapi kwa hii mkutano? Mimi nimewaita hapa, si ndio? Sio kwa sababu ya siasa, hapana. Mimi nimewaita hapa kwa sababu nataka tuongee mambo ya Kenya na mambo ya elimu. Two things. Mnanielewa? Lakini as always, unajua we have a very interesting country. Si ndio? Unajua Biblia inasema mahali kuna wawili wamekutana ama watatu, Mungu yuko kati yao. Si ndio? Lakini Kenya hii, mahali wawili ama watatu wamekutana, wanaongea siasa. So mimi nataka niseme hivi. Mimi najua mko na maneno. Si ndio? Ati mingi sana. Mko na maneno mingi sana. Na mimi pia niko na maneno. Ala. Kwani mnafikiri nyinyi mko na maneno na mimi sina? Hata mimi niko na maneno. Vile nyinyi mmekuwa mkinitafuta kwa maneno yenu, mimi pia nimekuwa nikiwatafuta kwa maneno ya Kenya. Sasa leo hapa tumekutana. Si ndio? Nyinyi mtasema yenu na nitawasikiza kwa makini. Na tafadhali mimi naomba nikisema yangu munisikize pia kwa makini. Si ndio? Sasa mimi nataka niwaongeleshe. First, you as citizens and professionals of the Republic of Kenya. That is the conversation I want to have with you. Number two, I want to talk to you about matters education in Kenya. And then number three, I want to listen to you through your officials on the matters that you want me and the government of Kenya to address. And then number three, I want to tell you about the future of Kenya. And number four, I want to respond. Number five, I want to respond to all the issues that you have come to tell me. Na mwisho, nitaketi chini, muniulize maswali. Sindio? Munaonaje hiyo lesson plan? Iko sawa? Hiyo lesson plan iko sawa? Iko sawa? Ati exceed expectation. Sasa sikizeni. Mimi niliambiwa na mwalimu, unajua kwanza nawaletea salamu kutoka my former girlfriend, ambaye ni roommate wangu, now my wife, ambaye ni mwalimu kama nyinyi. Amenikumbusha nilete salamu kwenu. Na alikuwa ananiambia lesson plan inaanza from the known So, have we agreed on hiyo mpango iko sawa? Now, good people, I have called you today here because you are citizens of Kenya. You are intellectuals and professionals. And you will understand what I am telling you better than many people. Are we together? And I want to tell you that where we are today is a product of leadership, is a product of education. And to be able to go forward, it is not so much about money, it is not so much about resources, it starts and stops with leadership. Leadership. And I'm going to talk to you, and I am deliberate about this meeting, because there is a conversation we must have as citizens of Kenya on our present, our past experiences, and the future of this country. We must have that conversation. And I want us to have it because this country is probably the greatest country that God has given to us. And Kenya has huge potential, which if we unlock, this country will change in our lifetime when we are here. Yeah? So, let me start by, you gave me a job through your votes and prayers to be the leader of our country. And I made certain commitments because I believe I've had enough experience. I am very informed, and I have the right age to run this show. So, the first assignment that I had to undertake on behalf of the people of Kenya when I was elected is to stabilize the economy of this nation. You know very well because you read. Post-COVID and all the challenges that were there, many economies in the world almost came to its knees. And in our region, Kenya was among the 6 countries in Africa that had the highest debt. We had a $2 billion ticket, the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. And Kenya was rated among the 6 countries that would default on their debt obligations. So when I came into office, I sat in a room there called number 6 with many people, very intelligent people. And we went through the numbers, and it was necessary for us to tighten our belts. We cut back on our budget by 300 billion. We had to stop fuel subsidies. We have to stop unga subsidies. We had to stop many things because the risk of having a debt default is fatal to an economy of a nation. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Inflation was at 9.6%. Our dollar reserves was $5.7 billion, only 2.5 months cover, import cover. Many oil marketers were looking for dollars from every bank and they could not find. Our exchange rate to the dollar had risen to 165, 167. So we had to take certain steps. And I was the man on the arena, and I had to make the decisions for us as a nation. And I did make those decisions. And it wasn't easy. And they were painful. But friends, today, I can confidently stand before the teachers of Kenya, our professionals, and tell them, because of those decisions, our inflation has come down from 9.6, it's now 4.5. Our dollar foreign exchange reserves have grown from $5.7 billion. They have now doubled at $11.8 billion. Our exchange rate has come down from 165. We are now, for the last 1.5 years, at 129. You follow news. IMF, 2 months ago, released a report which showed that Kenya had overtaken Angola, had overtaken Ethiopia. Kenya is now the 6th largest economy in Africa. Rating agencies, 3 weeks ago, Standard & Poor's has now elevated Kenya and said we are now debt sustainable. We've moved from rating of B- to B. I can confidently tell you that we are not where we were in 2022. Our nation's economy is now much more stable. There is more to be done. And you will see in the coming months the things we have lined up to do, because we still want to see inflation come down. We still want to see the exchange rate to the dollar come down slightly. And we still want to see our economy begin to grow yet again. So that was the first assignment. And I need to tell you so that you can understand where we are, where we've come from, so that we can design together where we want to go. Number 2, you know very well that agriculture contributes 25% directly to our economy, and with other sectors, including agro-processing, value addition, almost 45% of our GDP. And if we don't fix agriculture, we cannot sustainably drive our economy. It became my assignment, and I told the people of Kenya that I am going to deal with the agricultural sector issues so that we can transform that sector, so that we can achieve food security, we can grow agro-processing and value addition to create jobs, and we can expand our exports and get more money. Where were we in 2022? Unga was at 240. Our sugar industry was in dire straits. The price of coffee was 60. Many farmers were thinking of how to get out of coffee. Many farmers were thinking how to get out of sugarcane growing. Milk was selling at between 32 shillings and 35 shillings. The whole agricultural sector had very high input costs. Fertilizer was at 7,000, 6,500, 7,000. Unanielewa? So, what did we have to do? First, I made the decision that we are not going to continue subsidizing consumption. Instead, we are going to subsidize production. And as a result, we put government money in fertilizer subsidy. We put government money in subsidizing our seeds and that sector. That is number one. Number two, we worked on getting rid of brokers and cartels and crooks in the agricultural sector. Those of you from Western Kenya, you know what was happening in the sugar industry. Sindio? You know what was happening in the sugar industry? The sugar industry had become captive and hostage to a few characters who determined who gets what, which license is issued, who goes where. And they were so daring and brazen. It took me to tell them, mambo ni matatu. Yes. Ama hamukusikia hiyo story? Yes. Kwani mngetaka nifanye nini? Watu wengine walisema ati nimethreaten watu. Hapana. Si ndio? This coffee sector was also a hostage of a few people. One person was a farmer. He has a license as a miller. He has a license as a broker. And he is the one buying coffee at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. One person. Undermining everybody and causing confusion and making sure that they make the most money, farmers make the least. Munanielewa? So, we started by registering farmers, because if you want to have clarity on what interventions to carry out, you must work on the basis of data. You must have correct information. You must know. And that is why we started by registering every farmer. Today, I can tell you, in our Kiami's portal, we know we have the registration of every coffee farmer and their acreage, every tea farmer and their acreage, every sugarcane farmer and their acreage, every maize farmer and their acreage, wheat farmer, and on and on and on. We are now finalizing on our livestock farmers. As a result, because we are now working on the basis of data, we reduced the price of fertilizer to 2,500. We registered farmers. We got rid of the cartels. And we created new markets for our products. Today, working with China, we have removed tariffs for our exports of tea, coffee, macadamia, avocados to China. We've done the same with Japan. We are now working on India to create more markets. What are the results? As I talk to you today, the average of price of milk has moved from 35 shillings to between 45 and 50. Those of you who are coffee farmers, you're here. The average price of coffee has moved from 60 shillings in 2022. The average now is 110, 120, up to 140. Sugarcane, where government was putting money every year. The millers, they take farmers' cane, they mill, they sell. They don't pay the farmer for 6 months. They don't pay workers for 2 years. Government has to step in. I can now confidently tell you that we have turned around the sugar sector. From a production of 500,000 tons in 2022, last year, we reached 815,000 metric tons. In the next 2 years, we will reach 1 million tons. And in 3 to 4 years, Kenya will be a net exporter of sugar. Nyinyi mnanielewa? We have already licensed 4 new sugar mills because people are beginning to discover that there is money in sugarcane farming. What was undermining that sugarcane farming is lack of transformation, cartels and crooks and people who were doing the wrong things in that sector. For the first time, we paid bonus to sugarcane farmers in Mumias. And I promise you, end of this year, we will do the same in Zoya, we will do the same in Chemelil, we will do the same in Moroni, we will do the same in Soni. We are not only turning around the sugarcane sector, farmers will make more money, and we will save as a country on foreign exchange. We don't have to import sugar. The net effect of our agricultural transformation is that maize farmers are making more money. You know, we raised the production of maize. Imagine we were importing a lot of maize into Kenya from all over the place. We were producing an average of 40 million bags. Last year, we produced 65 million bags. This year, by God's grace, our analysis, because we got better rains and we got better supply of fertilizer, we intend, our estimate is that we will get 75 million bags this year. What has happened? We have reduced by 70% imports of maize. We have reduced by 70% imports of sugar. And we have doubled our exports of dairy products. What am I saying? That sector is undergoing transformation. And I want to promise you that the 500 billion, imagine, 500 billion Kenya shillings we use every year to import food in the country. We've now cut it down from 500 billion to 300 billion. Our intention is that in the next 3 to 4 years, we will bring our import bill of food from that 500 billion, we are now at 300, we will bring it to 0. Because we can produce all our food in Kenya. We'll save on foreign exchange and we will put money in our farmers' pockets. Mnanielewa? Number 3, we agreed that we want to reform our education sector. You know, in 2022, citizens were not sure about CBC. In fact, as I campaigned in many parts of the country, parents, citizens were saying, let us abolish CBC. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Si ilikuwa namna hiyo? So my first assignment when I arrived here is to set up a presidential working party. Because if there is one thing we must never get wrong is education. Because if we get it wrong in education, we fail as a country. That presidential working party worked with our manifesto. They looked at the areas, they listened to teachers, and I want to congratulate the teachers of Kenya. You became the largest contributors of ideas that today informs what we are doing. What has happened because of that engagement? Number one, deliberately, by the way. And for your information, very few people can dare reform the education sector because it's a very sensitive area. A friend of mine told me this education sector is very sensitive. Parents are very particular about their kids. If you touch this sector, it is going to be something else. But I said, unless we get it right in the education sector, everything else will go wrong. So we went through this together. We can now tell you, and you are the masters in that field, CBC now has more clarity than it ever had. The transition of our kids is now clear, and I want to thank you for supporting that sector. Number two, I have increased the budget from the education sector from 540 billion in 2022. This year, it is at 702 billion. The largest increase in funding in the education sector in Kenya. And I'm not doing it because of guesswork. I am deliberate and intentional because I know any investment we make in the education sector is not an expenditure. It is an investment because we will get returns from it. You know very well, your teachers, we had huge gaps in our classrooms. Every administration was hiring 5,000 teachers every year. True or not true? That was the norm. We're hiring 5,000 teachers every year. I decided that we must do it differently. And I want to thank you very much because you understood what I was saying. You allowed us as government to hire huge numbers of teachers, even though we started with interns, because it was necessary for us first to have teachers in classroom, get them out of the streets, balance the money we have. And today, I can confidently say in this teachers meeting that we are slowly closing the gap on teacher-student ratio. We now have 76,000 teachers teaching. In January, we will have 100,000. And by 2027, we will have 120,000 teachers hired. Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize, kwa sababu nyinyi mnajua hesabu. Yeah? Other administrations have been hiring 5,000 teachers every year, right? We have hired by January 100,000 teachers in 3 years. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Sasa nyinyi kwa hesabu yenu, acha niwaulize, 100,000 teachers, kama tungeendelea na ile mpango ya zamani ya 5,000 teachers every year, how long will it take us to hire 100,000 years? 20 years. So teachers that were supposed to be hired in 20 years, we have hired in 3 years. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Tunaelewana? On top of it, we have put money to have more classrooms. We have now built in the last 3 years 23,000 classrooms. And I want to thank members of parliament who are here, the chair of the committee and all the committee members. They have worked with me to make sure that we provide resources through CDF and through government resources to hire, to build more classrooms, because classrooms and teachers form the foundation of learning. Then we can input the rest of the things in between. Tumekubaliana ndugu zangu walimu. On top of that, it was necessary for us to look at funding. And I am happy that we are going to be discussing later. I have seen in some of the asks you are going to ask me how we can enhance funding. But we had to start from somewhere. We had serious problems with our universities. Most of our universities, actually 23 of our universities, had been declared insolvent. Egerton University, Nairobi University, Kenyatta University. Most of our universities, Moi University was almost dead. Most of our universities were paying salaries, half salary. They were not remitting pay as you earn, NSSF and all those. We had a big crisis. And let me tell you, good people, the reason why I had to take a very informed stand on matters education is that if you want to destroy a nation, go to education and do the wrong things. Because for so long, our universities were struggling. And it was not right, because what was happening is that we were sending so many kids to university. We're not providing the resources. They had to begin to cut corners. And ultimately, we were going to have half-baked graduates. And that is the reason why we had to have the difficult conversation on funding in our education, especially our higher education. I can now confidently stand before you today that our higher education, ask any vice chancellor, the new student-centered model has increased resources available for teaching at the university. In 2022, the maximum was 45 billion. If you go to this year's budget, it is 82 billion shillings, from 45 billion to 82 billion shillings this year. Universities can now pay salaries in full. They can pay their tax obligations. They can pay their suppliers. And slowly, we are bringing to the rails our university education. Our TVETs, the numbers in 2022, we had 340 students in TVET. Now we have 720, and I have agreed with the ministry that we want to have 2 million by 2027 in our TVETs. And by the way, it is intentional. And I will tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Number 5, we have been thinking of an open university of Kenya for many years. Many countries have done it. I tried to do it when I was Minister for Education. I was moved, or was it fired before I could finish it. So, but I had promised that when I get an opportunity, this is one thing I wanted to do. Today, I can confidently tell you, we have the Open University of Kenya at Konza City. We now have 10,000 students in the Open University of Kenya.
Students at the Open University of Kenya. In fact, it will be the largest university by end of this year. That is what Catholic education, we must provide all pathways for us to open opportunities for citizens to learn. And I'm going to tell you shortly why education is important. If we have to move Kenya to the next level, education is at the center. Mnaelewa marafiki zangu? Number 4. We have to sort out health. You know for a very long time that many people sold their houses, their property, their livestock, their plots, around this center for matters health. Some decided to stay at home and die because they don't know how they will pay if they go to hospital. Many Kenyans died of illnesses that could be treated, but because there was no mechanism. And that is why we undertook to say, let us have a paradigm shift in the delivery of health in Kenya. And this is not a conversation that started last year. Universal health coverage was in the NAC manifesto. Professor Anyang' Nyong'o was Minister for Health. He tried, he did not succeed. Universal health coverage was in the Grand Coalition. Charity Ngilu tried, we did not succeed. Universal health coverage was in the Jubilee Manifesto. It was among the big 4. Our minister then, Cecily Kariuki, we tried, we did not succeed. Strangely, in the last election, universal health coverage was in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, and it was also in the Azimio Manifesto. Unanielewa? So it is something we agree, all of us, that it is something to be done. But nani atafanya ndio kizungumkuti. So that's why this time round, I said, whatever it takes. Niitwe Zakayo, niitwe nani, ni sawa, lakini this thing, we must do it. Mnanielewa, my friends? You know, I can never have a better meeting than this. This is a meeting of intellectuals. Sindio? And that is why I must take time to explain to you, because you understand what I'm saying. Unaelewana? So what did we do? We changed the structure of delivery of health, because why we failed in NAC, why we failed in Grand Coalition, why we did not succeed in Jubilee, is because we didn't have a sound legal foundation. Because universal health is not a roll of the mill, it's not a simple thing. It is probably the biggest project a government can undertake, because it involves every citizen. Health is not a sectional issue. Health is a national issue. So we changed the law. From one law of NHIF, we now have 5 pieces of legislation. We have passed 4. There is one now in the works in Parliament. We changed the funding structure. We've changed the delivery structure. And now I can confidently tell you, for the last 1 year, which we have implemented universal health coverage under SHA. It's been difficult, but you are beginning to see the results. SHA is beginning, there was initially, it's not working. And then it came to, it is working, but. So we are moving. Yeah? We are going to remove the buts. And I want to promise you, we are determined. SHA, universal health coverage, must work. Because the Constitution of Kenya, Section 43, says health is a constitutional right of every citizen. It is not a privilege for those who have money or those who can afford. Unaelewana marafiki zangu? So, we're implementing universal health coverage. NHIF had 7 million contributors. SHA now we are at 27 million Kenyans registered. It was a preserve for a few. We are now agreed that number one, we are changing even the financing structure. The old NHIF, the low cadre of people, you know, wale watu wa chini huko, the lowest was 500 shillings. 500 shillings is for the people whose income is between 3,000 and 5,000 a month. Assuming even it is 5,000. If you tell somebody who is earning 5,000 a month to pay 500, what percentage is that? 10%, right? 500 is 10% of 5,000, isn't it? So, the poor people, the people at the bottom of the pyramid, we are telling them, pay 10% of your income. And then mimi napata 1.2 million. Hawa wadosi wameketi hapa wanapata milioni moja, 700,000, 800,000. Sisi ambao ni wadosi hapa, sitaki kusema yenu. Sindio? Sisi tulikuwa tunalipa 1,700. If you do a percentage of 1.2 million, 1,700, it is 0.01%. Sasa, good people, you are intellectuals. The poor are paying 10%. The rich are paying 0.00. Is there any fairness? Is there any logic? Tunaelewana? So what did we decide? We said, let's have equity. Let us be fair. Let us have a standard figure. Let everybody pay 2.75%. Mama mboga na wale wengine wateremuke from 10% wakuje 2.75%. Na sisi tutoke huko 0.0 sijui ngapi tukuje 2.75%. Tunaelewana? Now from 1,700 I used to pay, now I pay 40,000 every month. Mama mboga yake imeteremuka from 500, kuna wenye tutawalipia na kuna wenye watakuja 300. Now the base is 300. We're trying to create an element of fairness. Na hiyo ndio makelele mimi napigiwa kwa hii town. It's because, you know, we're just trying to be fair, good people. Why is anybody against fairness? So what has happened? We are raising more money. We used to raise 2.6 billion. Now we are raising 7 billion shillings every month to deal with health. And now we have put money in the budget. We've said citizens, and I want to tell you, and I'm going to discuss with you your own medical scheme later, because these people are going to ask me. Tunaelewana? Yes, and I'm going to tell you what we are going to do on your medical bill. Because today, access for teachers is 7%. Access for civil servants is 14%. Ni mnanielewa? So there is something wrong with the medical cover. And I know these good people, these representatives of yours, they have already captured it. And I am going to tell you how we are going to solve it. Tunaelewana marafiki zangu? So, I can now confidently tell you that SHA is working. We are going to make it work better. You can now hear testimonies of citizens who are telling you SHA paid for me 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, and all that. Something that we used not to hear before. And it is just 1 year. In fact, tutafikisha 1 year, tutafikisha 1 year October. Ni mnanielewa? What we are also going to do, we are going to get rid of crooks. You know, wale wakora matapeli wanaibia sisi pesa ya wagonjwa. Just imagine, good people, I must tell you this. Just imagine, there was a hospital here in Kino, naitwa St. Catherine, hapo. Ati walikuwa wanafanya operations more than Kenyatta Hospital. pale Kinoo. So we became interested. It must be a very big hospital, doing all this. Kufika pale Kinoo, iko kwa kona, second floor kwa kona. Watu wamejazana hapo ndani. There is no upasuaji going on. Ni kujaza makaratasi tu ya fake claims. Na wanajaza hata bila akili. Yani wana mtu mmoja wana file claim amekuwa amputated. Next week amekuwa amputated. The next week amekuwa amputated. Sasa unakuta mtu mmoja amekatwa miguu 10 times. Unashangaa kwani huyu mtu alikuwa na miguu ngapi? Hii mnanielewa? Open theft. Kulikuwa na mwingine huko Eldoret. Ako na hospitali kubwa hapo. Lakini kwa hiyo hospitali there are more accountants than doctors. Sasa unajiuliza accountants wanafanya nini kwa hospitali? I thought we needed more people, more nurses, clinical officers. Fake claims. That is why when we were closing NHIF, there were debts of 32 billion. 32 billion madeni ya ukora. So tukawaambia, okay, we are ready to pay these debts. Leteni makaratasi tufanye verification. Waziri akagazette verification committee so that we can pay you your claims. Wakaenda kotini kusimamisha verification. What does that tell you? The claims are fake. Because if you genuinely have a claim, why don't you want it verified? Useme, I tweeted so and so, these are the numbers. Ndio huyo mtu nilitweet, ndio huyo nilifanya, ndio huyo nilifanya. So, what we have done now, admission is on a digital platform. Discharge is on a digital platform. We are now moving to biometrics. An ID is not going to be enough. Ukifika hospitali, weka kidole, tunajua huyu ni mtu fulani, endelea. Kwa sababu wengine hata wanachukua ID ya mtu amekufa anakuja kufanyia ukora. Tunaelewana jameni? Running Kenya is a difficult job. Unajua saa zingine watu wako na akili ni very difficult kurun kwa sababu wanapanga akili kitu mzuri na pia wanapangia akili mambo mengine ya kombo. Tunaelewana? So all I want to tell you is that we will deal with fraud, we will deal with fake claims. You saw an incident in Mumias juzi. Simuliona kwa magazeti sijui. Bishop moja amesimama hapo amesema hii watu ni bure kabisa. Hii sha kuna kitu. Karibu tunafunga hospitali. We cannot pay our workers. Sha wamelipa sisi only 9 million. Na tumeweka claims juu ya karibu 100 million. Nikaona sasa askofu ako na kola. Nikasema this must be serious. Nikapigia waziri. Niambia waziri umesikia maneno ya huyu askofu? Amesema Musalia amesema uongo, hakuna tujapatiwa pesa. Nikamwambia mniletee data. Aletewa data. Ndio hii cash transfer, electronic transfer ya pesa, bank ndio hii, nini ndio hii. Nikamwambia waziri please enda kwa hiyo hospitali Mumias. Tunataka kusaidia askofu. Wengine askofu wako na ukweli. Kufika Mumias, askofu amepatiwa, bwana askofu ndio hii makaratasi. Siku fulani ulilipwa pesa fulani mpaka tukaita bank manager wao. Bank manager ana confirm tulipata hii pesa. Ya hiyo hospitali inaitwa sijui St. Mary's. Tulipata 98 million. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Askofu ndio huyo, I'm sorry. I was misled. Really? Nyinyi mnanielewa? Wenye kumwambia askofu hiyo story yote ni watu yake kwa hospitali wameiba from his own hospital. Nyinyi mnanielewa marafiki zangu? So we are going to deal with fraud. Mutasikia makelele, but it is because we have if we don't deal with fraud, we will not succeed in anything. So I just want to confirm to you, we are going to make sure that that health sector works. Lastly, because I just needed to give you a small brief of the assignment you gave me as the President of Kenya. Lastly, it matters to create jobs for our young people. And you know, jobs don't happen. They are as a result of deliberate, intentional policy decisions. That's how you create jobs. That's how jobs are created everywhere in the world. So, we have 4 pathways that we intentionally decided we are going to pursue for us to get young people. As we invest in education, we must also find pathways for them to be meaningfully engaged. So number 1 is our housing program. Many people ask me, wewe, nani alikuambia tunahitaji manyumba? Si kila mtu uko kwake. Simulisikia hiyo story. Who told you? But let me ask you, good people, sindio? If you look at the manifestos of all parties, for the last 30 years, housing was a permanent fixture. Housing, my friend, former Prime Minister, alianza the first slum upgrading during the Clan Coalition government hapa. Indio? Because housing was part of the plan then. Jubilee Manifesto, for those of you who are in Jubilee, among the big 4, one of them was housing. In this last election, hii election imepita, manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza ilikuwa na housing. Manifesto ya Azimio ilikuwa na housing. Complete with 1.5% levy. Ilikuwa kwa go and read the manifesto ya Azimio. Sasa sisi wote tunakubaliana this is something what we must do. And we must do housing for 4 reasons. Number 1, we have 7 million people living in slums. Urbanization is a reality we must live with. The future is urban. Whether you like it or not, by 2050, half our population, half the world's population, including that of Kenya, will be living in cities. So either they come to live in cities, in slums, or we begin to make sure that there is decent housing. Ni mnanielewa? So, na hii housing tulikuwa naye tangu zamani. So when it came to Jubilee, mimi na Uhuru Kenyatta, my boss, tukasema we must implement this thing. Tukapitisha sheria, tukapanga ile mambo yote. Kwanza my friend Uhuru akaniambia, I have a very good person, a very good professional, ako South Africa, anaitwa Charles Hinga. Tuende tumtafute. Tukaenda tukamtafuta huyu Hinga, tukamlete, tukamfanya PS housing, tukasukuma gurudumu, tukaenda bunge, kila kitu iko tayari. Levy ikaanza, kelele ikaanza. Sasa kelele. Sasa one morning Uhuru akanipigia simu, William, kuja. Yes, Bwana President. Akaniambia, wewe siwe uko na nyumba? Bwana President, mimi niko na nyumba. Sasa hii kelele yote hii tunapigiwa, hii ni ya nini? Kama watu wataki hii mambo ya housing wakwende, wacha hii kitu ipotee. Housing ikazamia hapo. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Shida, last election, manifesto ya Jubilee ya Kenya Kwanza, housing. Manifesto ya Azimio, housing. Si ndio? Si mimi nimekakuja nikasema wacha ni hii kitu imetusumbua muda mrefu. Let me be the one to bail the cat. Si ndio? Housing ndio hiyo, tumepitisha, wabunge wamenisaidia, wamepitisha, kila kitu iko tayari, levy ndio hiyo. Kelele. Zakayo, kotini, sijui wapi, maandamano. Lakini mimi nikasema, acha watu wanifanyie maandamano. What is the problem? We must do this thing. Ama namna gani, my friends? Si ndio? Because transformation is not easy. Transformation is not a walk in the park. Transformation is not necessarily popular. Ama tunakubaliana namna gani? So, nimekaa ngumu. Ndio hiyo housing ime take place. Kotini tumepelekwa, tunajaribu kukatakata kuona huko na makotini. Makesi mingi. Leo, friends, we are building 170,000 houses in Kenya. 400 markets are being built. 172,000 units of hostels in our universities, TVETs, and Kenya Medical Training Centers are underway in Kenya. 320,000 young people are working. By end of this year, we will have 600,000 people working. By end of next year, we will have 1 million people working. Architects, quantity surveyors, engineers, plumbers, technicians, artisans, electricians, masons, what name them. The whole industry around cement production is up almost double. Steel production is up almost double. Transportation and everybody in between. Our economy today is recording strides because of affordable housing. Ni mnanielewa? Today they are feasible. I challenge you, those of you who live in Nairobi, go to Mukuru, go and see. Go to Kakamega. There is no town in Kenya today that affordable housing is not the largest estate. From Mandera, Kitui, Machakos, Nairobi, Kiambu, Embu, Nyeri, all the way. I was in Kisumu, I was in Homa Bay, go to Migori, go to, my friends. And what you are seeing today is just work of 1.5 years. Explain to me, in 10 years, in 20 years, I promise you, you will not recognize Kenya. Yes. Nyinyi mnanielewa? That is what is called transformation. Sasa nyinyi, kama ningepigiwa kelele, nifanyiwe maandamano, niwachane na hii program ya housing, how are we going to transform this nation? Explain to me. How are we going to change this nation? Tuendelee tu na ile mambo ya zamani? Niendelee tu kupigiwa makofi so that ni watu wafurahi? What is that? Mnanielewa? And I am talking to you this way because you are intellectuals, you understand what I am saying. You can see what I'm saying. Today, we are going to sign here an MOU so that teachers can get 20% of all the housing we are constructing in Kenya. Yes. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Tuko pamoja? Waalimu. So, listen. That is how we change a nation. That is how you change a nation. Number 2, we are working on making sure that apart from creating jobs in this space, and my target is that we will create 1 million jobs in this space, we must create another 1 million jobs on our digital platform. Digital jobs is another avenue. We are currently rolling out fiber optic infrastructure in Kenya. We have done 24,000 kilometers. We want to get it to 100,000 kilometers. We want every ward. Unanisikia? If you go to Tatu City, Kenda Tatu City, I was there last year. Na nilienda kufungua one building that has 5,000 young Kenyans working for American companies from Ruiru here. They are working for American companies, digital jobs from Ruiru here. We are rolling out fiber optic because we want an ICT hub in every ward in the Republic of Kenya. And I will tell you, that is what it is. We want to roll out. We can also create 1 million jobs already from places like Tatu City and all the ICT hubs and the Jitume hubs. We have already 180,000 young people monetizing their talent, earning money in the digital space. We want to create 1 million of those young people in the digital space. Number 3, because of teachers and because of our teaching, we have the best human capital anywhere in the world. Foreign companies, if you give them a choice between hiring a Kenyan and hiring any other person, they will want to hire a Kenyan. Why? We speak good English. Kenyans require very little supervision. You know? This is information foreign companies are telling us. We have the right work ethic. Wakenya ni watu wa kujituma. And that is why I am proud to be a president of Kenya. You know? Najua watu wa Kenya ni wa kujituma. Kazi yako ni kuzuia tu wasipitishe ukiwaambia barabara ni hii. Utaenda mbele tu kwambia hapana piga kona. You see? So, what is happening? So, many people began to take advantage because many companies are looking for Kenyan workforce globally. So, we had these recruiting agencies. They realized that there is an opportunity. They began to take advantage. Unakuta mtu amechukuliwa pesa yake, unaenda Saudi Arabia, unakuta ile kazi uliambiwa sio hiyo. Unaenda mahali ingine, unaenda unadhulumiwa. Unaenda mahali ingine, unaenda unaumizwa. Ile pesa uliambiwa utalipwa, unakuta sio hiyo. So when we came in, we straightened what we call National Employment Authority. Tukafukuza hawa employment recruiting agencies, almost 1,000 of them, that were crooks. We have streamlined that space. We have streamlined the registration of recruiting agencies. We have signed bilateral labor agreement with countries where Kenyans go to work. That bilateral labor agreement gives us the knowledge. Now we know any Kenyan who is going to work in UAE, Saudi Arabia, Germany, France, America, wherever, Austria. Now we know what job are they doing, how much money are they being paid, and we have refused in certain instances that if you are not paying this amount, we have a minimum. We are not going to allow a Kenyan to go out of the country to go and earn 5,000. We have a minimum pay that we demand from those countries. If you have a job to work outside, we have created a green channel. If you have a job, a letter of employment in a foreign country, your passport takes 2 to 3 days, you have it. We have created a green channel. As a result, because you have heard me keep talking about export of labor or labor mobility, Africa is going to provide the largest workforce globally by 2050. because other countries have aging populations. Nyinyi mnanielewa? So between 2023 and today, 2 years, 430,000 Kenyans are working abroad. Every month, we send between 7,000 and 8,000 Kenyans every month. We know their names, we know where they're going to work, we know how much money they're going to earn, and we know when they get into trouble how to get them back home. I told you, jobs are as a result of deliberate government policy. They don't just happen. We have to organize policy and direct resources in the right place. Today, those who cannot afford to pay a ticket through National Youth Development Fund, we can now advance them money, which they pay within 6 months, for them to buy tickets, them to pay whatever they want to pay, go work abroad, send us money, grow the country. What has happened? We have increased foreign remittance by $1 billion. It was $4 billion in 2022. This year, it was $4.9 billion US. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Because of millions of Kenyans who are working abroad and they are sending money back home. It is the reason why our reserves at Central Bank are growing. Good people. I was talking about jobs. Jobs because of housing, markets, hostels, jobs through digital jobs, jobs using export of labor. These are deliberate intentions, and we can quantify how many people have gotten jobs. It's no longer a game of guesswork. I have told you this story. Now I'm going to tell you one, kidogo, because I want to persuade you as intellectuals that this country has tremendous potential, and we can change this country from a third world to a first world in our lifetime. That is the conversation I want to have with you. Yeah? And I want to give you a context. Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea were at the same level of development, more or less, like Kenya in 1963. In fact, let me specifically, and I want you to go and read. Take some time. Read about South Korea. South Korea in 1963 was exactly like Kenya in terms of education. They are an agricultural economy like us. The level of education was like ours. Their GDP per capita was actually 78, Kenya's was 80. Were the same in 1963. Today, South Korea, their GDP per capita is 20 times that of Kenya. Nyinyi mnanielewa? 20 times. Our GDP per capita is $2,200 US. Theirs is close to 40,000. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Malaysia, Singapore, and I invited the president of Singapore, alikuja kunitembelea hapa 2023. They were almost at the same level with us. Today, Singapore has 95%, almost actually 98% of their citizens are homeowners. Kenya, 7 million people are living in slums. You see the difference? 98% of their citizens are home owners. Where to 7 million are in slums. Forget about home ownership. Home ownership ndio hii sasa tunapanga na affordable housing. Singapore was a slum like Kibera yetu hii. Watu walikuwa wanapika pombe, wako na nguruwe hapo, wako na kuku mbili. If you see the pictures, if you see the pictures ya Singapore, it is exactly Kibera. Today Singapore is in the first world. Their GDP per capita is 156,000. Yetu ni 2,200. Ni mnanielewa? What is the difference? Leadership only, nothing else. Leadership ndio imeleta hiyo difference. And I'm talking to leaders here today, you. Mnanielewa? I'm talking to you as leaders. We can change this country. China moved from being one of the poorest countries in the world to the second largest economy in 30 years. Why am I telling you this? I am trying to persuade you that it is doable. It is doable. You are the intellectual community of Kenya. If Kenya is going to change, you are the agents of that change. My friends, teachers, this is the reason I called you here today. Because we, as the leaders, we are the ones standing between Kenya, between today and Kenya being a first world country. We are the reason. Whatever it is that we do will determine whether Kenya becomes first world or Kenya continues to be a third world. And if you had any doubt in your mind that this is doable, let me give you some examples of what is possible to be achieved if we make the right decisions. Number one, those countries have learned the practice of savings. China's savings as a percentage of a percentage of GDP is 55. Kenya's percentage of savings as a percentage of GDP is 10. Which means everything we get, we consume. We forget that there is tomorrow and there is the day after. Mnanielewa? It is so bad that we tried in 2016 with my friend Uhuru Kenyatta. We said we must change this because we are embarrassed. Even our neighbors, just imagine, good people, Uganda is half our economy. Sindio? Uganda is half of the economy of Kenya. But they have 3 times, maybe 4 times, a bigger national security fund than Kenya. Why? Because for 40 years, tumekuwa tukicontribute shilingi 200 kwa NSSF, 200 shillings. Mtu ana earn 50,000, 200 shillings. Mtu ana earn 100,000, 200 shillings. Mtu ana earn 200 shillings. Na contribute 200, employer ana contribute 200. Uganda, 20 years ago, they changed the law. Employee 10%, employer 5%. Tanzania, they changed the law. Employee 8%, employer 7%. Ni mnanielewa? Today, Uganda has a bigger social security fund than Kenya. They have a bigger savings kitty than Kenya. Tanzania, which is 60% of our economy, has a bigger social security fund than Kenya. In fact, Tanzania social security fund is Bill Kenyatta. Sasa kutafuta njia kwa ngumu. Akakaa hapo. Sasa Mungu ni nani? Si mimi nimekuwa rais? My friend, sikuchelewa. 2 weeks nikaita Atuoli, hebu kuja. Tukaketi chini na yeye, habari mzee, namna hiyo mzuri Sasa wewe hii kesi iko kotini. Unataka tuendelee ku 200 for how long? Do you know the damage we are doing to ourselves? Other countries are making progress. Sisi tunaenda kukopa pesa China because we have refused to save our own money. Ni mnanielewa? Atuoli akawa mzee mungwana, akanisikiza, akaniambia nimekubali. Kesi ikatoka kotini. Kila mtu sasa analipa 6% NSSF. Employers wenu wanalipa 6%. Do you know what? Let me give you the statistics now. From independence to 2013, we had raised 320 billion. From independence to 2023, hii ya juzi, not 2013. And I want you to mark the numbers. From independence to 2023, we had raised 320 billion. In the last 2 years, we have raised another 320 billion. We have doubled our 60 years of savings in just 2 years. By end of next year, actually by 2027, we will have 1 trillion shillings at NSSF. Tell me what is going to happen in 5 years. Tell me what is going to happen in 10 years. Tell me what's going to happen in 20 years. The net effect, we will not be borrowing money from China. We will be borrowing our own money, doing roads, doing water, paying our own people, growing our own economy. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you it is possible. You know, kuna mtu amekufa hapa kwa sababu amecontribute 6% to NSSF. Many of you even are not aware I'm the one telling you. Munanielewa? That is how you change a country. Look at what we have done in housing. I'm just giving you, let me give you 3 examples. Why I believe we can move this country from a third world to a first world in our lifetime. What have we done in NSSF? I've just given you the numbers. Look at what we have done in housing. Today, we have issued contracts for markets, for hostels, for housing, worth 600 billion. 600 billion. Not money borrowed from anybody. Our own resources. That whole housing thing you see, not a single shilling has been borrowed from anywhere. If you had asked me to go and look for 600 billion shillings to come and do housing, ningetembea na magoti in all the towns and all the cities, and I would not get it. Taenda Marekani, wende NSSF, ile ingine inaitwa ni IMF, wende ingine inaitwa World Bank, you will not get it. But look at what our own resources, from our own money, look at what we can do. Look at what we have done in health. Do you know how much money has been made available in health? From our own contributions in SHA, we're going to have something like 90 billion every year. From our own resources in equipment, we have mobilized, we have designed innovative, creative mechanism of delivery of equipment. We are now taking equipment to hospitals worth 200 billion shillings. Not equipment we have paid for, equipment we have structured, how they are going to deploy their own equipment, we pay them for service, and we make sure that we deliver health. So we are mobilizing close to 300 billion shillings using our own money, using our own intellectual capacity to deploy and to provide health to our citizens. Look at what we have done in education. Look at what we have done in roads. Today, we are moving all the road contractors that had stalled back to the roads. Why? Because we used our own creativity. With these members of parliament, we securitized some of the revenues we had. We raised 175 billion. We are on the road raising another 120 billion. We will have 300 billion shillings to do roads in Kenya. Money we have not borrowed from IMF or World Bank, our own resources. Good people, I am telling you, it is possible for us to change this country in our lifetime. And I want to persuade you, and this is the reason why I called you, as intellectuals, I want to persuade you that we agree that we can change, we move Kenya from third world to first world in the next 30 years. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Nyinyi mnanielewa? If Korea, South Korea could do it, we can do it. If Singapore could do it, we can do it. And we have demonstrated, I have shown you that it is possible. Hii makelele tulikuwa tunapigiana hapa na maandamano, you can see the results in housing. You can see, not about William Ruto. It is about Kenya and us and changing our country for the sake of this generation and the generations to come. Friends, marafiki, sijui kama mmenielewa. Mmenielewa? Na hii sio siasa. Forget about politics. Politics is small, maneno kidogo. We have a whole country to think about. We have the future of our nation to think about. We can stop, we appeal to everybody, And I can tell you 3 things are important: leadership, education, and we must stop corruption. Kenya will change in our lifetime. And I have every intention to do my bit. I'm asking you to do yours. I'm asking you to help me. Let us work together for us to change Kenya. Sijui kama tumeelewana, my friends. Mimi nawaomba kwa unyenyekevu. And I called you here so that we can begin to discuss, to have a conversation about this Kenya. The possibilities that are available in Kenya. This is the most non-tribal gathering. This is not about a political party. This is not about a political side. This is about Kenya. And shortly, I want us to have this conversation as a country. This is a conversation I have had with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. This is a conversation I have had with my friend Uhuru Kenyatta. Because we must stop partisan things, sectional, It is possible for all of us to do well. Please, good people, this is why I called you. Yeah? I really wanted to have this conversation with you. To tell you, and I wanted to have this conversation with you now. Because if I had this conversation with you 3 years ago, you would tell me housing is not possible. You would tell me universal coverage is not possible. You would tell me reforming NSSF is not possible. Nikasema wacha kwanza nianze na makelele na nini na maandamano, lakini ili nikiwaita, you are witnesses of what is happening. When I tell you we can transform our education sector, we can hire 100,000 teachers Msiniambie mbona wale wengine hawakufanya. Now you know it is possible. Don't you? You know it's possible. Ama namna gani? Because it's been done. And that is why I have big difficulties, because we have a disconnect. Because citizens are accustomed to things not working. So that even when they work, they still want to believe they have not worked. You know? Ndio unaona hata saa hizi bado tuko na viongozi wengine wanasema watakuja kuabolish housing. Oh, tutakuja kuabolish universal. Yani ujinga. Yani you have no better plan. You don't know how to move the country forward. Unataka kuturudisha nyuma. You know? So really, Marafiki, I really wanted to talk to you. I told you, I want to talk to you as a leader, and I want to talk to you as citizens and intellectuals of the Republic of Kenya. That is the conversation I want us to have. We are going to move this conversation forward. We will not believe the naysayers. You know, there are many people who are negative. They never see anything. Oh, tumesikia hiyo, oh, hiyo ni uongo, oh, hiyo nini, you know, those things. But you see, we can change this country. And I have great faith that we can do it together. Tunaelewana? As the lawyers say, I rest my case. Nimemaliza. Sawa sawa ndugu zangu. Asanteni sana, tuketi. Now, let me come to si nilikuwa na lesson plan. Wacha nikuje sasa niwaambie in brief what we have been able to do in the education sector. I have explained in my other presentation. I just want to take you through quickly. I've explained to you that transforming education was not a political issue. Transforming education was deliberate, because through education, whether you look at Korea, whether you look at Singapore, whether you look at Malaysia, intellectuals, the capacity for people to understand things, education was at the center of their own transformation. And that is why I took matters education seriously, because I knew that it is going to be part of the levers that we are going to use if we were to move Kenya to the first world. That is why the budget of education was 540 in 2022. As I told you, now we are at 702 billion. We've hired teachers the way you know. We built classrooms, as I have told you. We have done a funding model changed the funding model to put more resources in our universities. We have started the Open University of Kenya. We have increased the number of tutors in our TVET from about 3,600. We have moved it to now from 6,900, to now 10,000. And we are hiring another 3,000 or 4,000 in the coming budget. We have moved in the number of private sector companies that are now working with our TVETs. We've moved them. We used to have 65. Now we have 2,800 different companies providing training, internship for our students in TVET. It is our intention by 2027 to move the number of students in our technical, vocational, and training institutes from 340 in 2022. We are now at 720. We will have 2 million by 2027, because technical education, the STEM subjects, are what are going to drive our industrialization. The reason why we have 6 new special economic zones is because industrialization is going to be the engine that is going to drive our economy, even as we move from an agro-based economy we must industrialize. And that is why Kenya is championing the Africa Green Industrialization Initiative, which I am driving at the AU, and we are going to take it to the United General Assembly, because that is the way we want to move the country. In matters education, these are among the things that I agreed and I purposed, and we have provided the resources to transform that sector. Let me see whether I have forgotten anything. I think I have captured most of the things, you know? I think I've captured most of the things. The one thing that I just wanted to give you the beacons of what we are doing in matters education. From making sure that we have adequate resources, we've increased the budget significantly. No other administration has increased the budget that much. We've brought in more teachers, built more classrooms, started, operationalized the Open University of Kenya, which I have told you by December 2026, we will have 100,000 students learning. It will be the biggest university in Kenya by 2026 in just 3 years, because education is important. Knowledge acquisition is important. That is how other countries have driven their own transformation. That is how Singapore left us behind. Malaysia left us behind, because they invested in education. And that is why I moved to the third section of this morning's lesson plan. I said that third section, there are things we have done in education. They are significant. You have participated in those things. But I know you have ideas on how we can make it better. Sindio? You have ideas on how we can make it better. I have gone through it. I have seen that there are some brilliant ideas that you have brought through the MOU the memorandum, that was sent to me by the associations and the unions. I want now somebody to make a presentation of what you think we can do better to deliver on this very central subject of education. You know, I think one or two of the colleagues here will do that presentation to us. And then from there, I will respond to some of the issues that you have raised. Some of them we can do now. Some of them we can plan to do in the medium term. And I'm sure we will agree on how education is going to play a central role in moving this country to where I want us, all of us, to move the nation to. And then finally, if there will be any questions for me, I will be more than willing to respond or clarify on some issues. And then we will do the final things, alafu tutamaliza. So, who is going to make the presentation of the items that the memorandum, who will do it? You will call them. Yeah, so one or two people can make that presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for those insightful speech. Your Excellency, allow me to call the leaders of the unions, Your Excellency, and as Collins Oyu, the Secretary General of Kenya National Union of Teachers. Your Excellency, sir, here before you are 3,300 Kenya National Union of Teachers, leaders from around the country. Allow me, Your Excellency, before I give you to introduce, we have been joined by the Minister for Lands, Housing, and Urban Development and Public Works, Honorable Alice Wahome. We have also been joined by the PS Housing, PS Charles Hinga. We have also been joined by the Chairman, Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Jamlek Muturi, and also the Acting CEO, Evelyn Mitei. Asante sana. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you. Rais anasema muimbe wimbo moja anarudi. Haya. DJ yuko wapi?
Sisi kama walimu wa Kenya tunakupenda sana. Umetuleta sote pamoja kwa upendo, tunakupenda sana. Tunakupenda sana. Asante sana kiongozi mwema, umetujenga, umetupenda. Umetupenda. Walimu tunasema asante sana. Umetushikilia asante sana. Umetupenda sana. Asante sana. Umetupigania asante sana. Asante, 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 asante sana. Walimu tunasema asante sana. Umetushikilia asante sana. Umetupenda sana asante sana. Umetupigania asante sana. Asante, 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 asante sana. Rais wetu kiongozi mama, tunakupenda sana. Tunakupenda sana. Umetupa ajira na unaukabila, tunakupenda sana. Tunakupenda sana. Rais wetu ubagui, uchagui, unatujali. Rais wetu ubagui, uchagui, unatujali. Walimu tunasema asante sana. Umetushikilia asante sana. Umetupenda sana asante sana. Umetupigania asante sana. Asante, 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 asante sana. Walimu tunasema asante sana. Umetushikilia asante sana. Umetupenda sana asante sana. Umetupigania asante sana. Asante, 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 asante sana. Kama walimu wa Kenya tunakupenda sana. Tunakupenda sana. Umetuleta sote pamoja kwa upendo, tunakupenda sana. Tunakupenda sana. Asante sana kiongozi mwema, umetujenga, umetupenda. Asante sana kiongozi mwema, umetujenga, umetupenda. Walimu tunasema asante sana. Umetushikilia asante sana. Umetupenda sana asante sana. Umetupigania asante sana. Asante, 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 asante sana. Walimu tunasema asante sana. Umetushikilia asante sana. Umetupenda sana asante sana. Umetupigania asante sana. Asante, 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 asante sana. Rais wetu kiongozi mama, tunakupenda sana. Tunakupenda sana. Umetupa ajira na unaukabila, tunakupenda sana. Tunakupenda sana. Rais wetu ubagui, uchagui, unatujali. Rais wetu ubagui, uchagui, unatujali. Walimu tunasema asante sana. Umetushikilia asante sana. Umetupenda sana asante sana. Umetupigania asante sana. Asante, 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 asante sana.
Haya basi, kwa makofi tuseme asante walimu. Kwa kweli tumeshikiliwa. Asante. Asante sana. Alright DJ. Asante sana. Naomba tuweze kuketi na tuendelee na mwenyekiti. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, Deputy President, CS Education, PS Education, Professor Bitok, CSs who are here, the Chairman of Education Committee, my brother and colleague teacher, members of the Education Committee, Teachers Service Commission, led by the Chairman and the CEO, the leadership of trade unions here, ladies and gentlemen, walimu wenzangu, solidarity! 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 Your Excellency, I have my team here with me, the national steering. Just stand and wave. National steering, Kenya National Union of Teachers. That is at the apex of the leadership of Kenya National Union of Teachers, followed by members of the National Executive Council, teacher leaders in all the 110 branches of Kenya National Union of Teachers. I hope you are here. Asanteni sana. I listened to His Excellency, and I want to be very frank. As teachers, when we went to college, one thing stood by us. No one taught like this man. And I must say here and now, without mincing an outer of word, Your Excellency, you're a perfect teacher. Hands-on. Hands-on. You know close to everything. Everything. I'll imitate you from now, Your Excellency. This is a historic event. And I want to thank CS Education and PS for organizing this event. And I want to dub this event, Your Excellency, Waalimu na Rais. More to that, because it is a colorful, enjoyable experience, I would wish that after every 2 years, Your Excellency, we come back here for Waalimu na Rais. Solidarity. 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 This sector needs peace more than ever. And you'll agree with me, in all our schools, performing schools have peace. This country needs peace for education to cherish. I want to thank you, Your Excellency. You brought on board every other person in this country to work with. And that is why, as a Secretary General on behalf of teachers, members of Kenya National Union of Teachers, I want to say, Kumi bila break. Kumi bila break. Broad-based government is the way to go. Your Excellency, you've mentioned everything in this sector. For us, we only have to appreciate collective bargaining agreements. Your Excellency, we were worried as leaders of trade unions at the beginning of this year, because we all know it, that SRC had pronounced a freeze to any monetary CBA. Teachers Service Commission through your advice, Your Excellency, sat with us, and on the 18th of July, we signed a CBA. Simuliona CBA walimu? Now, thank you. But what we would like to ask on the CBA, globally, and these are recommendations from the International Labour Organization, our CBAs are for cycles. We want to request you, Your Excellency, to reduce the 4 years to 2 years of CBA. Based on inflation, CBA to be reduced to 2 terms. 2 years. 2 years for CBA and 2 terms for His Excellency, the President. Your Excellency, I want to say here and now, we are all CBC compliant. Matters of employment of teachers. Mr. President, you have exceeded expectations. We know too well, and the President did say here, that after every year, only 5,000. As we speak now, and I want to repeat what he said, 76,000 teachers employed, permanent and pensionable. As we proceed, another 24,000. That's 100,000. Before 2027, another 20,000. 120,000. Solidarity. 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 As we appreciate you, Mr. President, on employment, this is what we want to ask you. We have teachers who are 45 years and above. These teachers are not employed. You know, when you're 45 years, you only have 15 years. Mr. President, some of our teachers will attain the retirement age even before working for this country. I want to request you humbly, and Teacher Service Commission is here. These teachers who actually trained 15 years back down the line, 20 years down the line, over 45 years, your executive powers, known to all of us, as we pronounce 2 term, kumi bila break, Mr. President, employ these teachers. That is employment, that is entry into this profession. There's also exit as you work. Teachers who retire, some of them even die before they receive their benefits. How I wish, Mr. President, that you stamp your authority so that teachers who retire get their retirement benefits as soon as possible. We want them to vote for you. We want these teachers to vote for you. You know, in biology, because you are a very good teacher, Mr. President, food is medicine. I want to tell all of us here that most of our retirees, as they go home, food is never their medicine, but medicine becomes their food. They take medicine like every 1 hour. We want these teachers to be paid their benefits early enough so that they stay strong to vote for you, Mr. President. I'm sure you are able to unlock the overstay that is there that don't allow teachers to get their pensions in very good time. Education reforms. Nani kama wewe Rais? Nani kama wewe? Nani kama wewe? Wajua Kiswahili si mdomo changu. I got it from His Excellency. Wakenya ni watu wa kujituma. I want to confirm here, Your Excellency. Walimu hapa Kenya ni watu wa kujituma zaidi. Because looking at the work that we do, and I'm happy, your deputy, His Excellency, was a teacher like us. Mwalimu. And you know too well. Fire must be fire. Noma must be noma. Now, there's no single government that can pay a teacher a salary commensurate to the work that a teacher does. And so, tunajituma zaidi. Kazi ya elimu tunapenda. Walimu Kenya hii ni watu wa kujituma zaidi. I want to say here and now that on education reforms, before you came in, Mr. President, the sector of education was getting to rot. The Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms has brought us far and wide. Domiciling grade 7, 8, and 9 to primary schools did two things, Mr. President. One, access to education. Two, poor parents could afford to have their children in school. Imagine the situation where grade 7 went to a secondary school, grade 8 to a secondary school, and grade 9 to a secondary school. I want to assure you, Mr. President, as the parents and as these teachers, education has become affordable. 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 Because of the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party on education reforms. And more so by domiciling grade 7, 8, and 9 in primary schools. Now here comes the sessional paper number 1. This is my ask. This is my ask, Mr. President. The sessional paper number 1, which of course was number 10, 2024, now number 1, 2025. Where has this sessional paper disappeared to? Because we want the president to succeed. We want the president to succeed. We want the president to succeed. Where is the sessional paper? Number 1 of 2025. And our head teachers have worked a lot. Head teachers, congratulations. You've made His Excellency proud. Because grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, now transiting to grade 10. Hongera, head teachers. And as soon as I appreciate you, Mr. President, these teachers, head teachers, were head teachers of primary schools. They are now heads of comprehensive schools. And you know, in the trade union, additional work calls for additional remuneration. These heads are even capped in D1, and they'll never go beyond D1. My ask on behalf of these heads, just a pronouncement, Mr. President. Just a pronouncement. Just a pronouncement. Just a pronouncement. A pronouncement that these are no longer heads of institutions because they man junior schools. It will not be bad, Mr. President, if these heads are declared principals of those institutions. Because I'll tell you, and Teacher Service Commission has data. Most of our heads are graduates of master's and doctorate degrees. That is where we are. Mr. President, delocalization was repealed courtesy of your leadership. Families suffered. Families suffered. There was no peace in most of the families where there was delocalization. And I want to say here without blinking that even conjugal rights became conjugal privileges in most families. Solidarity! 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 Mr. President, this policy has to go, and go once and for all. Why I say so, Mr. President, delocalization has come in again through what we call promotions. A teacher in Nairobi is promoted, only 4 months retirement, and posted to Kitui. Posted to Kitui. Posted to Tana River. Yes, it is a policy. How I wish the way you came up, Mr. President, to repeal delocalization. In the same way, Mr. President, just a word, repeal CPG. Career Progression Guidelines. Because with CPG, Teacher Service Commission must post you where we have a vacancy. Are we there? It is not a must that when I proceed to C4, I must be declared a deputy head teacher. It is not a must that when I proceed to C5, I must be declared a head teacher. CPG, for the sake of these teachers and their security, and to get rid of delocalization finally, Mr. President, this is a policy that has to go. CPG has to go. CPG has to go. CPG has to go. CPG has to go. Finally, my dear President, hello? Order. 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 Mr. President, we have our colleagues in hard-to-staff areas. When a teacher volunteers to work in a hard-to-staff area, I think issues of policy should not be kept to stop the teacher from getting promotions. And even be confirmed substantively to be a principal, a head teacher, or even a deputy head teacher where one works under hardship. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Mr. President, the ayes have it. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. Colin Soyu, Your Excellency, the Secretary General of Kenya National Union of Teachers. Your Excellency, sir, allow me now to invite on stage the Secretary General of KUPPET, Akelo Missouri. Thank you very much. I can see the chairman, Mheshimiwa Omboko Milemba's come. Karibu sana. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Every protocol observed. Solidarity. Teachers' power. Mine is very brief. To introduce the battalion that I led here from Kupet. May we have the national executive officials rising up and wave to the President. Kupet power. Thank you. May I have the National Governing Council rise wherever you are. Wave to the President. Teachers' power. Finally, Your Excellency the President. Majority of the teachers that you talked about, whom you have already employed, are also in the house. Those are called the JSS. Could we have the modules rise up? Teachers' power. Without much ado, Your Excellency, may I bring the spokesman, the Pope of Kupet, to speak on behalf of the members. Akelo Misori, may you come and present the issues that we have too.
Thank you so much, Brother Chairman. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, the Cabinet Secretary is present, the PSS is present, members of the Education Committee of Parliament, and the union leadership who are here, Kepsha, Kesha, and the teachers of this country. Power! Power! You do realize, Your Excellency, that we have given you a memorandum. However, you are persuaded us to look at your viewpoints. And we are also want to persuade you to look at our viewpoints on certain issues. Solidarity. The teachers of this country are very happy and appreciate you for the effort that you have had to administer this nation. And more recently, Your President, Your Excellency, your zero tolerance on corruption. Your Excellency, I must say that some of the most progressive programs that you have initiated since your administration came to office is housing. Housing. For some of us who have traveled far and wide, do appreciate one fact, that if you want to control populations in terms of security, if you want to provide roads, if you want to provide water, if you want to provide electricity, you start with housing, because it will determine how people live. It will also restore their dignity. Initially, when we came to this place, not in this magnitude, we did not give you sufficient time to explain to us. But you did ask us to give you time, but you approved it. I must say, we appreciate this effort, and especially in housing. And go further to appreciate that you have invited the Cabinet Secretary Housing and the PS Housing to append the 20% that you have given us as a token of appreciation of teachers of this country. Your Excellency, you asked us and you persuaded us to look at your viewpoint. I must repeat this. I would also wish to ask you to look at our viewpoint. Some of the policy frameworks that have come in the education subsector require serious interrogation. Serious interrogation, Your Excellency. And one such, and you can hear some appreciation from the background. One such is that as much as we have more access, more affordability of learners in our schools, something that was being ignored and must be interrogated further is the domiciling of junior school in our primary schools. I must say this because one element Thank you. 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 This is the beauty of democracy. The beauty of democracy is everyone has got his say or a say.
We have had you. Members. His Excellency, order. His Excellency has had you. His Excellency has had you. Let's be quiet, please. Let's be quiet, please. Let's be quiet. Let's be quiet. Let's be quiet. Order. Another issue. So His Excellency the President has had you. Order. Let's be quiet.
Thank you. Secondly, Your Excellency, something which has really disturbed us is allocation to a Teacher Service Commission for promotions. We really appreciate the promotions which you have granted us over the years, and we appreciate the over 56,000 teachers who are promoted. However, Your Excellency, one thing which we still ask for is that promoting 2,000 with the allocation of 1 billion, 2 billion to the Teacher Service Commission does not reflect the magnitude of the stagnation that we have had in the sector. I would therefore request you that expand the allocation to Teacher Service Commission in relation to the promotion.
Observed teachers fraternity. Leo ni siku kuu ambayo Mungu ameifanya. Tumeona sote, tafadhali tunyamaze ili tuweze kuendelea vyema. Kurudia mtaniruhusu nirudie kile ambacho Secretary General alikuwa amekiongea cha CPG. Tunashukuru kwamba kufikia leo tumeweza kukaa na mwajiri. Tunashukuru sana mwajiri wetu ambaye kwa wakati huu tunaweza kuketi, Your Excellency, na tuongee kama watu ambao wanaweza kuelewana bila vita, bila mambo mengi, na tukubaliane kama jinsi tulivyofanya juzi tu katika CBA negotiations. Wakati huo tuliweza kuulizia kuhusu career progression ya 2018 ambayo mpaka leo walimu walio katika special schools na special units hawajawahi kuangaliwa katika career progression hiyo. Your Excellency, Mchana wa leo tunaomba kwa unyenyekevu, ikiwa itawezekana muweze kurudia career progression. These teachers have a different kind of a job altogether. The nature of their job ni tofauti kabisa, kwa sababu wana handle hawa watoto walio na mahitaji ambayo ni maalum na ni ya tofauti. Tunaomba kwamba ukasimame pamoja nasi, na kwa sababu leo tumefika kwa mfalme mwenyewe, tuna imani na wewe rais wetu, Mheshimiwa Rais. Tunajua kwamba mambo mengi ambayo tunaongea hapa yataweza kutekelezwa. Asante sana. Nitazidi kuomba ya kwamba Mungu aendelee kukupatia hii divine direction ambayo umefanya leo, ukakaa na walimu ukawaona wakiwa wa maana. Walimu hoye! Walimu hoye! Sisi ni watu ambao tuna uvumilivu, na ninawashukuru sana walimu kwa kuitikia mwito, kwa kuwa mahali hapa. It is one thing to be called, it is another thing to accept the invitation. Thank you so much. God bless you so much. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Charity. Your Excellency, sir, our next speaker is the chairman of KEPSHA, Mr. Faud Ali. Karibu. Let us be brief, Ali, because His Excellency already has the issues. Let us try to be as brief, to the point as possible. Karibu sana.
Asante sana PS. Mheshimiwa Rais, Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais, itifaki zote zikihifadhiwa, viongozi wa tabaka mbalimbali, amjambo. Assalamu alaikum. Harambee. Harambee. Mheshimiwa Rais, wao ndio wameamua hivyo. Who are we to say no? Tunakukaribisha Mheshimiwa Rais hapa, na nina imani tutarudi tena hapa tamu ya pili kwa uwezo wake Mwenyezi Mungu. Mheshimiwa Rais, tumesikia yote uliotueleza na tumefurahia agenda ulizotupatia za elimu, hasa ulipotuambia ya kwamba kiwango cha budget cha fedha kimeongezwa katika nyanja ya elimu. Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa kauli yako nataka kukuomba kwa taadhima na heshima ya kuwa kile kiwango ulichokiongeza na kiwango cha capitation cha primary, ambapo kwa sasa ni 1400 na tayari kwa budget umeongeza. Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa hisani yako tunakuomba kwa heshima na taadhima, kipandishe kile kiwango sasa, angalau tuweze kufika 2300 kama ilivyopendekezwa Mheshimiwa Rais katika Presidential Working Party ambayo ni brainstorm yako mwenyewe. Mheshimiwa Rais, walimu wakuu wa shule za comprehensive school wamesimamia CBE kuanzia chekechea hadi primary hadi shule msingi ya sekondari JS for the last 13 good years, and CBE has been a success story in this country. Mheshimiwa Rais, pale tunapotoka Pwani tuambiwa sisi tupenda sana kunywa madafu na maembe, lakini tuna msemo Mheshimiwa Rais, chanda chema. Mheshimiwa Rais, ndugu yangu Collins ameongea ya kutosha. Hawa walimu wakuu wana stagnate at D1, hawasongi zaidi ya hapo, na ni wanaongoza resources pamoja finance na human resource, primary, ECD, junior school, name it, wazazi, majengo, vyote vilivyomo ndani ya shule ya comprehensive school. Tunakuomba Mheshimiwa Rais, zingatia ombi letu. Ombi la capitation la primary education kuongezwa na ombi la kuweza kuwainua hawa walimu wakuu, to empower them. We want to empower them. CBE is engagement, empowering, and ethical citizenship. And we want to empower. They are already ethical citizenship. You can see how they are. They are already engaged. Na kazi wanaifanya mheshimiwa, we mwenyewe unaitambua. Ni kazi mzuri sana. Tunakuomba kwa hayo machache mheshimiwa, uweze kutuzingatia matakwa yetu. Harambee! 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 Mungu atubariki sote mheshimiwa. Asante sana.
Aya, ni fire si fire. Ni fire si fire. Ni noma si noma. Your Excellency, sir, allow me now to invite the last speaker. That is Chairman Kesha. That is Willis Kuria. Karibu sana Kuria.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Cabinet Secretary is present, the PS and all the guests here. I wish to take note that I'm the last speaker, and most of the things that I was to raise have been raised. So I really do not have much to add. But maybe I may have one or two affirmations. Your Excellency, the President, I want to say here that today's lesson that you delivered here was delivered with a lot of clarity and eloquence. And I think there aren't very many questions. And now that we are here, we felt that, Your Excellency, maybe even another time, we should be able to come back, because the lessons you taught us today, if you had come here several times, I think we would have passed the exam by now, all of us. Your Excellency, as Kesha and teachers, we worked with you during your term as the Deputy President for the first term, the second term, and now the first term as the President. So I don't see the reason why there should be no second term as well. Your Excellency, after you gave us the lesson you gave us today, and now we are here from the management point of view. We have mentioned the issue, you told us how to improve the quality of education, and without taking much time, I would like to say that without having learners in class, it might not sometimes be possible. And therefore, Your Excellency, among the reasons that make learners to be out of the class is the issue of funding. Funding is very crucial here. And we have what is in schools today. For example, the fee that was set in schools today was set in 2014, and now we are in 2025. The inflation has gone up by 47% since 2014 up to now. But the same fees has been there. So it sometimes becomes difficult to continue with the learners in class. But worse still is that the capitation that is given to schools, again, it was set in 2017. And when it was set in 2017, again, the inflation has gone up. Moderate, Your Excellency, is that this capitation of 22,244, in most cases, it has actually not come in full for all that time from 2017. And therefore, Your Excellency, taking from what you have told us, if only this capitation can come to what is in law, 22,244, I think we really appreciate Your Excellency. I'm happy that we got an opportunity to tell you this live, because we have actually been telling you this in the newspapers, but now you are here, Your Excellency. The other point on this, Your Excellency, is the issue of the deduction of this capitation. because capitation was meant for operations and tuition. But then once it is brought in school, we are also told to deduct it and take it towards infrastructure. Your Excellency, we would like capitation to be purely for tuition and operation. And this is going to help improve the quality of education. Having said that, Your Excellency, also to improve the quality of education in this country, the persons who deliver the curriculum from the management point of view cannot do it well unless they are well motivated. And I want to appreciate what the unions have told us. There has been an issue of the promotions of teachers, as it has been said. I want to thank you because teachers are being promoted 25,000 per every other time. And there are 500,000 teachers. Your Excellency, I know you have hardships, but we would appreciate if this number can be increased. In fact, sometimes when I look around, because there are some teachers who have remained in the same job group for 15 years. I think as a country, even when there was the World War, the country was lavished. But I think the leaders of that time, they decided to take the bull by the horn, especially the US, and they brought up what was called the Marshall Plan to bring back the economy. Can there be a Marshall Plan for teachers so that there can be just a big group? Maybe those who have stayed in the one job group for more than 5 years, they'll be told this is a Marshall Plan now. Go to the next job group, all of you. These people, Your Excellency, they have done interviews, until now they don't go anymore. Because there is no hope. Your Excellency, again, under the CPG, one is supposed to take 3 years to qualify for an interview. And therefore, you find that there are 10 job groups in this profession, maybe in primary and secondary school. So if you have to take 3 years to do interview, it means that those are 30 years to move from one to the other. And therefore, if you are employed by the time you are 40, because you have they are employed by the time they are 40 or 35, you cannot reach the top, there is no hope. And assuming that you are going for interview and succeeding after every 3 years, which again is almost impossible. That is why, Your Excellency, we have said that maybe this needs to be looked into. Finally, as I sit down, Your Excellency, we have an issue again on the promotions because the promotion of teachers ends at the job group R, what is called D5, for teachers. But for other civil servants, it goes even to S, T, and even if the civil servants or teachers, we are graduates, PhD holders, some here, and others. So some we have been saying, why don't we equalize so that all people can reach the same job groups? Your Excellency, so we have a suggestion also. We also have a suggestion as I sit down that let us not wait for 3 years. Can we maybe wait for 2 years before we can go to the other interview? And in schools, particularly the secondary schools, we have a challenge of debt. There is a debt burden in high schools, and maybe even also in primary schools, because of that issue of capitation. Schools have been taken to court. Schools cannot meet their daily obligations. Therefore, sir, we are requesting, can the government do something to offset these debts in secondary schools and primary schools, so that we can be able now to start afresh, bearing in mind that, sir, you are going to give us the full 22,000 from what you have said. Finally, sir, the disbursement of the fees of the capitation sometimes is delayed, and we hope that now, finally, sir, I was told to stop so that you can really hear what I'm saying, because I'm talking for these people, Your Excellency. So, sir, I was saying that now that I was saying, sir, that something has to be looked into in secondary schools so that we can stop what I may call some wastage. There are so many secondary schools that are operating with 100 students and even below. So many of them. And because capitation is given per learner, so if they are given about 17,000 and they are 100, you can see the little money they get, they cannot be able to pay salaries, they cannot be able to operate. At one time, we had been told that there is going to be the minimum package for all schools. That is, before you start counting the number of students, then first of all, you can say all schools are going to get a flat rate maybe of 500,000, and then from there we can start counting the number of students, so that these schools are able to operate. And we believe, sir, that this one can also be able Sir, I was told to stop so that you can really hear what I'm saying, because I'm talking for these people, Your Excellency. So, sir, I was saying that now that I was saying, sir, that something has to be looked into in secondary schools so that we can stop what I may call some wastage. There are so many secondary schools that are operating with 100 students and even below. So many of them. And because capitation is given per learner, so if they are given about 17,000 and they are 100, you can see the little money they get, they cannot be able to pay salaries, they cannot be able to operate. At one time, we had been told that there is going to be the minimum package for all schools. That is, before you start counting the number of students, then first of all, you can say all schools are going to get a flat rate maybe of 500,000, and then from there we can start counting the number of students, so that these schools are able to operate. And we believe, sir, that this one can also be able I don't want to appreciate, and these people are telling me to ask how many times. Tamu gapi? How many times? How many times? 2 times, Your Excellency. They are the ones who have said. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kuria, Your Excellency, sir, the teachers have spoken. The teachers have? Allow me, Your Excellency, to, I've requested the CS to allow me to invite the Deputy President to invite you so that you can respond to the issues the teachers have raised.
Asante. Fellow teachers, you have heard this morning that the President of the Republic of Kenya has great clarity on where Kenya is and where Kenya needs to go. And therefore, Mr. President, on behalf of the rest of us who work in your administration, I want to assure you we will spare no efforts in supporting you to deliver on the great vision that you have for our country, so that we can transform our country. As you've told us, it is possible to do it in a generation because others have done it. The second thing, before I invite the President to respond to our issues, is to thank the President for engaging with us. Because it is one thing to recognize that teachers are intellectuals and thought leaders, but it's another to listen to their inputs and to engage with them. Many people agree that teachers are thought leaders, they are intellectuals, but many do not engage, listen, and put on board the views of these intellectuals. The President has been there, looking at your memorandum, listening to your presentations with a notebook and pen. And because the President has told us, one, we must transform Kenya, right? And two, we must generate our own resources as a country to transform our own nation, so that we stop the indignity of borrowing and begging. Because the money that we get from development partners, from other countries, they get it from the savings of their own people. And this is the balance Kenya must strike. We must transform our country. We must reduce reliance on other people's resources. And that is why our President has agreed to do the heavy lifting for us and be called all manner of names, from Zakayo to every other name he has been called, because we cannot continue transforming Kenya by borrowing money from abroad. We better borrow as other countries do. They also borrow from their pension funds, from their other funds within the country. So, Mr. President, we are very proudly associated with your leadership. And because you said to these people you have a fairly good deputy, it will be wrong. It will be wrong for me to say I have the best boss I could ever get anywhere. Very, very intellectually alert, very engaging, but also he respects and dignifies all of us. Watu wengine wakipewa mamlaka wanakuwa na kiburi. Aheshimu wale watu wanafanya kazi nao. And Your Excellency, I want to say, you are the finest product of our teachers, because just like all of us, even the President is a product of teachers. Ama namna gani? Kwani Kiingereza rais anapromosha hapa imetoka wapi? Si ni shule? Kweli si kweli? Walimu ni fire si fire? Wacha niulize, tusimame tuwakaribisha Rais William Ruto.
Asanteni sana. Tafadhali tuketi tena. I can see lesson plan inaendelea. Iko kwa mpango. Now, I said that I was going to respond to the issues, and I have been listening very carefully, and I have made enough notes. And I began listening ever since we agreed to have this meeting. And I asked my team at the Ministry of Education, so that we can have a structured and meaningful outcome of this meeting, that ahead of this meeting, we engage your leaders so that they can tell us what you as unions and associations have agreed or want addressed by this administration. And I got this brief a few days ago. I know it was a product of consultation, engagement with the officials at the Ministry of Education, led by my CS. And again this morning, it has been enriched by the leaders who have spoken ahead of us. And I must say that all these leaders who have spoken here on your behalf have added a lot of value to what we are doing in the education sector. Your input, your suggestions, the ideas that you are bringing to the table are progressive. They add value. They make what we are doing better than where we are today. And there cannot be any more patriotic engagement than what I see with this teaching fraternity. Nasema asante sana. Let me respond to the issues. Number one, you have, first, let me say congratulations for signing a CBA with the Teachers Service Commission. I know there are many people who are not happy because there was no demonstration. You know? Wengi wanashangaa ati CBA imekuwa signed. How? Mbona sufuria haijapelekwa kwa barabara? Mbona hakuna maandamano? Mbona you know? But is there any reason for us to engage in the streets when we can engage in negotiation tables? There is absolutely no reason. And that is why there are people who are unhappy that this has happened without people quarreling. It is not necessary for us to have a quarrel when we can find an avenue for engagement and agreement. And I want to tell the teachers of Kenya that whatever it is that has been signed as a collective bargaining agreement, we will honor our part as government. And if there are any areas of improvement, we will look at them and we can review and we can even go beyond what has been signed in the CBA. In the context of what I told you earlier, that education is going to be central to the transformation of Kenya. We need more intellectuals. We need more people with ideas. We need more knowledge if we were to move Kenya from where it is to where we want it to be. So we will spare no effort in doing this. You have asked that we reduce the CBA cycle from 4 years to 2 years. I want to say that that is a useful suggestion. I am told from the presentation that has been made that it is possibly what is recommended, globally, that maybe this should be the case. You also appreciate that we have a situation in Kenya. But Mr. Kuria says, even though we have a situation in Kenya, we must think, because this is a very important sector. So my first reaction is that I accept that this is the case, but Oja. Nyinyi mnataka kunichochea niseme maneno alafu. So first, we have the CBA that we have signed. But my instructions to the team here is that the next time we are engaging, first, I accept that we need to reduce it. First, I agree that we need to reduce. Now, I want to leave it to the teams to go and sit down. Do we reduce it from 4 to 3 or to 2? So, I want, because we are engaging, Sindio? So, the teams here, TSC, Ministry of Education, and the teacher leadership here and capture, now you have our mandate to go and review this downwards. Number 2, on capitation. All the good people who have spoken here on your behalf have spoken to the matter of capitation. And there are 3 issues, actually 4, that I see here on capitation. Number 1, you want the 50-30-20 to be respected because there is a problem. Sometimes there is delay. Most times there is delay. Let me put it that way. So I'm instructing the Ministry of Education to sit down with the Ministry of Finance. When I try to ask them what is the issue, they told me that because our financial year is June to June, and the education here is January to December, there is a bit of a disconnect. So we need to align. And now I am telling the Ministry of Education to sit down with the Ministry of Finance so that we can align this, so that we attain. And to give us a report by December, so that we can begin the new year with better arrangement. Number 2, on this capitation, our primary school section, both union and association, have said it correctly. At the moment, we are not meeting the 2,238 per student. We are sending about 1,400 per student. We must, live up to what was recommended by the Presidential Working Party. Same thing with our secondary schools. At the moment, we are at 17,000 out of the expected 22,000. And Kuria here has said it very ably. I agree with you that we must get it to where we want it, where it is recommended to be. Now, let me say this, that whatever the gap is, we have a gap of almost 800 in primary school, and a gap of about 5,000 in secondary schools. Sindio? So what we will do, the next financial year, we will reduce that gap by half and close the gap in the following financial year. The Ministry of Education is properly informed so that whatever resources we have to find from wherever place, we have to close that gap in the next 2 cycles so that our learners can have access to education. If we make some savings, because as you know, we are currently going through a digitization process to make sure that we clean up. We are informed that there are ghost schools, there are ghost students, there is a ghosts everywhere. So we have agreed that we need to remove the ghosts. If we make enough savings, and we are told that it's possible to make enough savings, we could actually close that gap in 1 financial year. But I'm telling the ministry, whatever savings we make from the exercise we are going through, and I'm very happy that teachers are supporting, you know, the transparency and the integrity we want in schools. Because part of the success of Kenya is how we deal with wastage, pilferage, corruption. Are we together? And I'm very happy that when I got the report from the ministry that the unions, the associations, and the teaching fraternity are all in and they are supporting our verification of both schools and learners so that we can inject integrity into this sector. So if we make enough savings, we can close that gap of making sure that we release the 2238 for primary and the 22,000 and something for the secondary schools. I know there is also a request on matters to do with extracurricular activities. I saw it in my notes. So what I have told the ministry is that because beginning January, we will now be implementing the 3 pathways. The students who are in the arts, sports sector will now get capitation directly going to that sector, not as an extracurricular activity, no, but as a proper capitation for those sectors. If there will be any gaps after we implement that, then we will review and see what we can do. And please, TSC be taking the notes and the Ministry of Education so that whatever we agree with these good people, we can implement. On employment of teachers, you have said 2 things. You have said there are teachers who are 45 years and they haven't been to any class. Sindio? And with a little bit of time passage, they will retire before they get. They will retire from outside. So, and you have also said we must adopt a first out, first in model that prioritizes long waiting teacher graduates. So from this year, Ministry of Education, from this year, from what we are going to do in December, first out, first in becomes the first out, first in. And if it concerns primary school teachers, where it concerns primary school teachers, we must do an affirmative action. And therefore, I want the ministry, the unions, and the association to sit down and give me, I want to know how many teachers are in this category where they are threatening to grow old before, and give me the financial implication, yeah, so that I can have a proper response for you. So if that analysis Waziri can be done, working with TSC and working with the teachers, so that we know how many are they. If there are not so many, we can do what Kuria was saying, affirmative, we can do Marshall Plan and get them in so that we can do that. Okay? Sawa sawa. So I want you to give me time to work on the numbers, and we will communicate through the ministry in the next 60 days on what we are going to do, and we can implement this going forward. Career progression, teachers promotion. One of the biggest problems that we have had to deal with is, number one, delocalization. I think we have solved delocalization significantly. There is still remaining a small corner. Sindio? So, and number two, we have had teachers stagnating. In fact, stagnating in one job group for 10, 15 years, 20. Sindio? When this was brought to my attention, for the first time, we provided money specifically for teacher promotion so that we can create that pathway. We provided 1 billion shillings in 2023-24, 1 billion shillings 24-25, 1 billion shillings 25-26. And as a result, as was said by the teachers here, we are promoting an average of 25,000 teachers. Now, for the last so many years, there was a time we promoted almost 38,000 or almost 40,000. I have the statistics from TSC. So far, we have promoted in the last 3 years, teachers have moved up the ladder. 151,000 teachers have moved up at least one ladder. Correct? But you're saying we have 400,000 teachers, almost 500. It will take a while if we go at this rate. So my suggestion is that we will double the resources available for teacher promotion. From next, so that instead of promoting 25,000, we will do 50,000. Tunaelewana? Siwache tuanzie hapo. Alafu tukikutana tena next year, tuone mahali imefika. Alafu tuone vile tutafanya. So my instructions to the ministry is that we double the money. We have been providing 1 billion shillings. We should provide 2 billion shillings and whatever is required so that the teachers, so that at least we can promote 50,000 teachers every year and move them up the ladder. Sawa sawa. You have also said something about teachers, head teachers at grade D1. Wamekwamia hapo. Sindio? Wamekwamia hapo. So, and all the other things you have said around that. I want a review of how much will it cost for us to do this, so that I can then make the right decision. And again, that becomes the assignment these two gentlemen and their teams will undertake. Sawa sawa. I agree with you that CBG, you have said it with clarity, that you want us to review CBG. And therefore, I want to instruct the ministry, the teacher unions, please review with immediate effect CBG. And provide a guidelines for us, sindio, so that we eliminate any remaining vestiges of teacher delocalization. We must remove that. Tumekubaliana? So wangwana, mketi chini, we want that CBG reviewed. Also, you have mentioned a matter that is dear to all of us, a matter of sessional paper number 1 of 2025. In it is all the review of all the laws that would bring up to speed all the agreements and the reforms that we have agreed upon and that were championed by the Presidential Working Party. Somebody has asked here, ilipotelea wapi? Niko hapa na chairman wetu wa bunge, Bwana Meli, a former head teacher. Sindio? Yeye ndio chairman wetu pale bunge. Hiyo sessional paper iko wapi? Patia yeye microphone aseme.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The sessional paper is a product from the cabinet and it will be transmitted to Parliament. So we are waiting. So when you transmit, we shall take it up.
Okay. Can Waziri confirm where it is?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Excellency. As you correctly said, the sessional paper is a product of the 13 bills that are undergoing processing through the AG and ourselves and Treasury. Once it is completed, it will come to Cabinet, then we'll submit it to Cabinet. It is work in process and we are working on it.
Okay, Waziri.
Thank you, sir.
Timelines. Can you give us timelines?
The next. Yes. Yeah. Your Excellency, they will be ready for submission the next 60 days.
Okay. The minister is saying we give him 60 days. I cut it down to 45 days.
Thank you.
45 days. So the 45 days, Waziri, the 45 days starts running from today. So tutaanza kuhesabu. The Deputy President is here, atatusaidia kuharakisha huko cabinet. Alafu Meli na wenzako ikifika bunge mtajua vile mtafanya. Kila mtu acheze kama yeye. Kama namna gani? Okay. You have also recommended, because that's why I'm saying you people are very progressive, because everything you have recommended is reasoned. It is not a product of emotion. It's a product of knowledge and understanding. So you have also proposed that we establish competence-based education resource centers in every sub-county to support curriculum delivery. I want the chair of the committee in Parliament to take that because, because we have resources in CDF and we want to agree on how CDF is going to assist. I'm going to work with the committee of Parliament so that we can use CDF resources to deliver on these resource centers, because we understand the importance. So you can take it that we have agreed that we will provide this. And unless Meli is of a contrary opinion. But yeah, microphone atuambie kama ni sawa.
Excellency, CDF does 80% in education. And we'll just include it and we'll run it as part and parcel of the education programs we are doing.
Very good. You know, when Meli and his team asked me that they wanted to be part of this meeting, I'm sure he didn't know that he was going to be part. But it is good so that he can help me answer some of the questions. The other issue is the medical cover. I can see, although you have said, I've seen that you have, the request is you want us to continue the medical cover the way it is. I am of a contrary opinion. The medical cover the way it is does not serve teachers. Let's be honest. Let us be honest. And I will give you statistics. Right? I want to give you statistics. Mnanisikia? Because I have asked the ministry to work with professionals to tell us and to compare the teachers' medical package, the civil servants' medical package, and also the market, what is available in the market. On outpatient, the ratio is every teacher goes or uses this facility 1.8 times. The industry is 2 times, civil servants is 2.1 times, which means access of inpatient by teachers is lower than civil servants, is also lower than the market. On outpatient, these are numbers. On outpatient, access to inpatient, on inpatient, access under your medical cover is 7%. Access by industry, what is available in the industry, is 12%. And access by civil servants is 14%. Which means teachers access half the time. You know? Mnanielewa? Ukitaka kwenda hospitali unapatiwa story hii, imekuwa sijui nini, Tumeelewana? Tuko pamoja? No, I was actually wondering how you people could say, let us continue with this thing the way it is. Number 3, still data on your medical scheme. On average, it costs 117,000 what you are charged for inpatient, on average. On average, the industry average is 100,000. Civil servants is 98,000. Meaning, you pay more for every visit than what others pay. So really, good people, we cannot continue with this medical cover the way it is. Mnakubali? And I must commend your leaders, because we have engaged them. We have shown them the data. We have shown them the information. We have shown them where the rest of civil servants and where the market is. All they told us is that, before we sign off, let us go and ask our members. Sindio? Sasa wacha niwasaidie. Hakuna haja ya kwenda kutafuta members. Members ndio hawa. You agree that we review? Sindio? We review. And we make sure that it is in tandem with what others are getting. Are we together? As many as of that opinion say aye. The ayes have it. And thank you very much. These leaders, you have great leaders here. The other matter that you have asked is, as members of the Kenyan society contributing to housing levy. Sindio? And let me just give you the numbers. Of the contributions that come to housing levy, teachers contribute 13%. Of the whole kitty, teachers contribute 900 million shillings every month. Sawa sawa? Is it every month or every year? Every month. Every month. Sawa sawa? And so, because you contribute 13%, sawa sawa, we have said that your request that 20% of the units, because of the job you are doing, you know, we don't want to say 13%. We have said instead of 13% being allocated to teachers, let us allocate 20% to teachers. So we have agreed to assign 20% to teachers, and the CS housing is here, the PS housing is here, and the desk is here. We are going to sign an MOU between our teachers and the ministry so that we can implement these 20% for teachers. Tumeshakubaliana? Students with special needs. Wametuambia ya kwamba, and I have been to many schools where our children with special needs learn. And I agree that teachers in that space, you know, require special attention. They do. So the two issues they have raised here is that we need to consider, you know, the request they have made. They have asked that we make them 2 grades. Let me approve 1 grade first. Twende hapo kwanza. Alafu, you will tell me the financial implication of the other one. But at least let us give them something. They are doing a good job, these teachers with special needs. Let me also ask the ministry, if 20,000 for their guides was agreed on a few years ago, sit down, review, so that we can see how much can we add. Instead of 20,000, how much does it go to within the resources that we can budget? On another matter, I think the final matter is, you have asked that we fast track the full authorization of chemists to improve real-time data management, institutional planning, and tracking of education outcomes across all sectors. And that, I want the Ministry of Education to tell us. And they told me when I had a consultation with them yesterday, they said they are going to fast track the rollout of chemists so that we have correct data. Because you know very well, as the teachers here have said, we have schools in our register that says they have one student. How does a school exist with one student? Is that a school really? There must be something wrong. We also have schools, many schools, that have 25 students. How does a school operate with 25 students? And I agree that we said under the Presidential Working Party, we must have a minimum package for a school to operate. And so the ministry, after we have gone through the chemist process, we must then assess which are these schools that have so few students, and how are we going to have a minimum package. If the schools must continue to operate, then we must give them a minimum package for them to operate. And there must be reasons for that. You have recommended a Marshall Plan for the education sector, right? I want to ask you to be generous. Let us not have a Marshall Plan for education only. Let us have a Marshall Plan for Kenya. Sindio? Ile nimewaeleza mapema. You know? We can do it, good people. Just have faith. We can do it. Because if we believe in something, if we believe in our country, if we believe in our potential, it starts with us believing in ourselves. You know, doubt is the enemy of progress. And we must not be cowards. Unajua hata Biblia inasema watu waoga hawaendi mbinguni. Do you know that? When msome Biblia, cowards, they will not be in heaven. So we need to gather courage as a nation, believe in ourselves, drive our development, change our country, and take Kenya to the first world. Mnanielewa? So, Waalimu, I think we have significantly answered to the requests that you have forwarded to us. There are those we have said, yes, immediately they will be captured and we will action them. There are those that we have said we will engage further so that we can have a much more informed outcome. And I want to say I very, very, very sincerely thank you for responding to my invitation, for coming for this meeting, and I agree with you that because we have started a conversation. Si karibu tunamaliza. Because we have, oh yes, there is somebody reminding me there are issues of retirement. That it takes too long. There is something we are doing with that public servants superannuation fund. There is something we are doing there. But we have already straightened NSSF. When you retire, your NSSF benefits are ready within 10 days. That's what we have agreed. In fact, we're trying to work with NSSF so that your retirement benefits become ready in 1 day. That is where we are going. It used to be months. We brought it to weeks. Now it is 10 days. We want to take it as close as possible. When you retire today, you pick your check for retirement tomorrow from NSSF, wende nyumbani, wende usukume mambo yako. But I also want you to, I want also to tell you the following. Mnanielewa? Because now under what we have reformed, the new reforms we have done in NSSF, you are no longer contributing 200 shillings. Now you're contributing 6%. And government is contributing 6% for you. When you retire, you will actually have a very good package. You will earn a monthly. Forget about ile pesa ya kuchukua lump sum alafu inaenda unaoa bibi mwingine unazama. Sasa you will have a proper package, retirement package. A percentage of your salary which you are going to earn mpaka uende safari ile ya mbali. So that is going to change, and you will be informed how that is going to change. But that does not mean that we don't deal with the issue that you have raised. So, my friends, mimi nawaenzi sana, you know, and I truly appreciate this engagement. It has helped us as a government to align the issues in education. It has given us insights and new ideas on how we can improve education outcomes. And it is because, as I told you, whether you talk about Malaysia, whether you talk about Singapore, or you talk about South Korea, education was central to their transformation. And that is why we are investing time and resources in making sure we get it right in education, because it is the catalyst for us to move into the future. But it is going to take the collective leadership, the collective courage of all of us to be able to move Kenya to the next level. And I am confident that I have your concurrence, that we are going to do this together. Walimu jameni, tumekubaliana tutembee hii safari pamoja. Mumekubali? We move Kenya forward. Tuwache ukabila. Tuwache chuki. Tuwache migawanyiko. Tuwache uoga. Tuende na mbele. Hebu nione wala wanasema tuendelea pamoja namna hiyo. Bas, Harambee. Harambee. Sasa 2 terms ni ya kufunga. Si ndio? Lakini tumekubaliana ile mambo ingine yote. Tafadhali ndugu zangu, really, I am passionately asking you to make this Kenya a reality. Make this new Kenya a reality. Friends, we can do it. We can do it. Tunaelewana? We can do it. Only that we have to be, you know, we have to be consistent, focused, and take the right decisions. Not necessarily, you know, populist things that do not get us where we don't want to go. We want to go somewhere, and we have to make the right decisions. So, asanteni sana. Unasema to postpone maswali to next meeting. Postpone maswali Lakini sasa niwaulize, si mumekuja?